to help men's get his bread back, you better be a freak off MVP. Not abort, all right? I know you were pregnant at one point. You cannot abort. I remember.
Me eating the communion, which is like the symbolism of like Jesus' blood and bones or something like that. I don't remember completely, but
You said bones.
I did not mean it to as like.
Oh my.
So we gonna blame this on the nigga when we got more information. So.
Oh yeah, nah, we.
Yeah, nigga, yeah. I got excited.
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
All right, man. Let's start it. Let's go.
Woo!
Oh, we live for real. All right, man. So time to get to the music. Y'all know, Talk F&F jams.
Let's go.
So you are now listening to Talk F&F TV. I am your wonderful host. I am Rhetoric, and I'm with my lovely, amazing, beautiful, mixed queen. Not in the racial way. But
I was about to say, what?
I mean, like, it's the you know, the mix you did. Miss Reality.
Hi, guys. What's up?
All right, we back in this thing, and we here in full effect. And it's time to get going.
Mm-hmm.
We both had some good weeks, you know, roller coaster up and down, but we made it through. We back here.
We're here.
So
what's on the docket?
So much. So I was thinking about what we were gonna talk about today, and then this morning it fell into my lap. So it's some days I understand the internet is crazy. A lot of people, you know, disrespectful for women, homosexual community, a lot of minority. The internet can just be a bad place, but sometimes as a straight man, you wake up to someone on the internet, it's just the perfect thing that you want to see. So my boy DJ Akademiks has been going back and forth with your girl, Young Miami.
DJ Akademic going back and forth with another woman yet again. That's his favorite thing to do.
This is Ak in rare form. So I wake up. Now, you know me. I'm 2-3 in the morning guy, a weirdo. You know, I keep weird hours.
Very.
And just so happened, these motherfuckers was going back and forth during this time. Like, this, it was 2-3 in the morning. I know
they was both lit as fuck.
We both East Coast Act, so I know you on the same time I'm on. This ain't like you 1 in the morning back in L.A.
Yeah.
No, you up at 3 a.m. with me going back and forth with this girl. So I knew that there was going to be some funny business afoot and that there might be some potential tweet and deletes.
Yeah.
So I was on my screenshot game.
Period. Journalism.
It's just what I do. It's just what I do.
Read the tweets.
So it looked like he started it from what I gathered.
Of course he did, because he's a little bitch.
So it says, don't let her talk that money talk. Nigga, why she ain't get on with me when I was violating, nigga? Only way on earth she got more bread than Big Ak? If she got it by selling that 30-year-old pussy to Puff Daddy, a whole billionaire. And he added her. So then she says,
DJ Akademic is so mad he don't got no pussy to sell.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And then he says, you gotta
sit behind that computer and work hard and yell at the screen, drinking Hennessy and getting fat all day. That sucks.
So then she responds, Young Miami responds, she says, get in the field or shut the fuck up, pussy nigga. For real, that's how I felt like she said it. And then she took another tweet.
Said pussy nigga.
That could have been it too. A pussy nigga.
No.
Okay,
I don't think so.
My bad. So then he took an old tweet where he said, this is back in 2018, where he said, Bad Bunny or Bad Baby got mad titties for a 15-year-old. So that is a tweet that
Very
went around.
Creepy.
That I want to also say that he didn't tweet that out. That was just somebody who put that out there.
Okay.
It was a fake tweet, but she used it. She said, stop talking to me about Diddy, bitch. Talk to him. Big back bitch. You addressing me, so I'm addressing you. You pervert ass bitch. You fucking creep. Y'all love that creep word. That's y'all bringing that back. You ain't better than the next bitch, weirdo. Let's talk about you, sick bitch.
I hate how you're reading this.
That's how I'm hearing it though. So then he responds to her and says, "This fake, you fucking moron." And now he starts like editing out the swear words. Don't you use Google? Or you just can't type, like you just write your lyrics like you don't write your lyrics. Addressing your nigga paying $50 million to Cassie. Because allegedly he had 50 niggas running trains while he's jerking off in the corner. And you getting pissed off. How many niggas fucked you in the freak off, Karisha? Questions that need to be answered.
This theatrical reading of tweets is brought to you by Reddick's ridiculous ass. I hope you're enjoying it.
Act comes back. You ain't finna get online, get loud with shit when your groupie ass was holding up a sign for a nigga who paid $50 million for freak offs. He said you shit permanently on quiet. I think he meant to say you should be permanently on quiet. $50 million with a question mark. Man, shut the fuck up and go sell that 30-year-old pussy to help men's get his bread back. You better be a freak off MVP. And then he added her. Then she asked, "Why are you so obsessed with me?"
Honestly.
In her Mariah Carey voice.
It's giving stalker.
He comes back, "Nigga, you were on mute since the freak off exposure. Then you diss me, don't play victim. How many niggas urinated on you, Karisha? Where your sign at? You left that nigga because he got sued. Mm-hmm. What happened? Where y'all find the dozens of alleged niggas who fucked you in the freak offs?" Okay,
I think you can
just tone
lower
it down.
the intensity. Okay, yeah, it's a little one note now.
Don't play victim now. All right, so then she goes, "No, you're the groupie dick sucking ass bitch. I'ma talk crazy to you all the fuck I want. Mm-hmm. What you gonna do?" And then she asks him, "Bitch, you keep talking about Diddy. Diddy didn't make me. I been had my own and hold my own. Fuck is you talking about?" I like when girls say that. Fuck is you talking about? Mm-hmm. I don't need a nigga for shit, pussy ass nigga. Fuck you talking about? Are those bars? Is she snapping on him?
I don't think they're bars.
He responds,
"Mwah, no bars."
"Yes. All we finna talk to your irrelevant ass is about Diddy. You dissed me in the whack song. Your group flopped. And your show got canceled because your nigga love freak offs. What the fuck else we finna talk about? We don't want to hear nothing from you if it ain't confessing to the pissed-filled freak offs. You think Santana had you crying, bitch ass nigga? Come outside. We ain't gonna we ain't gonna jump you."
Bro, she was just outside with Southside. That man doesn't have the safest reputation. So if she's back with him and you running your mouth, I would say don't go outside. Akademiks, stay in your mother's basement.
You a woman. Cut it out. None of y'all ain't doing nothing to no one. Stop all the tough talk. Y'all got a history of getting bitched. Your gay friend got a leg shot and cried on camera talking about I'm a celebrity. Don't move tough. You got no history of violence. He said your gay friend got a leg shot and cried on camera talking about.
Santana got shot?
I mean, that's what he's saying.
Santana got shot years ago. It had nothing to do with DJ Akademic.
But I know it wasn't about that. He just bringing it up.
Okay.
Your man got hit and he outside talking about.
At least he was outside to get shot.
And then he posted a tweet that she said, "If you wanted to eat my pussy, Diddy, you would have had you on your knees, ho. You a eater." She said this in December 13th. So if I wanted you to eat my pussy, Diddy, would have had you on your knees, ho. You a eater. That's what she said.
Let me see.
That's what she said. That's an old tweet the Akademiks pulled up where he's going at Karisha.
Oh, she missed the comma.
Oh, okay.
If I wanted you to eat my pussy, Diddy would have had you on your knees, ho. You a eater.
Got you.
So, yeah.
Then she says, "Watch your mouth." This is what Akademic says. "Watch your mouth. Remember this tweet. Stop tweeting at me. You might be a witness in a future freak-off lawsuit. You ain't got $50 million to pay. Remember that. Y'all was on some Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell vibes, huh? And then she posted a girl who said that she was allegedly assaulted at his crib. Mm-hmm. She says, "Is this you, Akademiks? Bitch, you go lawyer up and leave me fuck alone. Unlike your nigga, police done looked into everything. Because everything on video, 100% clear. Now about your nigga. I ain't paying $50 million for shit I ain't do. What about your nigga?"
You don't have $50 million. You would be in financial ruins if you owed $50 million to anybody or any entity.
So this is where he finishes off at. This is why I was not the last one where it says, and this was at 4 a.m. in the morning. You about to lose your monthly freak-off allowance by playing with me. Now you finna have Diddy trending again tomorrow. When he wasn't. Didn't he tell you to shut the fuck up and keep making that whack music? Y'all supposed to wait 6 months for people to forget. Then y'all can act like y'all go together real bad. Oh my goodness, I love this. I love when Act just gets into this bag and he can just start shitting on people. And unfortunately, yes, it is sometimes women, a good majority of the time. But he goes at everybody. We have factual information.
He goes at women a lot.
But that's the ones that like
he goes at women
the most.
Disrespectful amount.
No, he goes. It's fair.
A disrespectful like
he was shitting on Lil Baby.
He goes at women too much for me to respect him. That's what I mean.
Again, it's good content for me. This is everybody wins in this situation. Karisha gets her little shit off, and everybody who loves her can say period. Ow. And then everybody who's on Act side can just be like, oh, he killed him. What about the freaks off? The urination.
I think Karisha said that she liked getting pissed on as a precursor to all of this. So she would seem like she was a willing participant in the nonsense. Or maybe she was forced to say that.
I think you're giving her too much credit. I don't think she's that many steps ahead.
Or
she's not that many steps ahead.
Or that was just part of her humiliation ritual.
That's more likely. Because I don't see this woman as being
How much money do you think she got
for the freak offs?
For saying on camera in front of millions of people that she likes getting peed on. Unprovoked.
I think she's in a 360 for Karisha Please. So whatever she got the sign is what she got to do all that shit she did. Like I'm very sure that she don't own none of that. That's why we don't see it that often. It's because she don't own the product like that.
Yeah. So Revolt is. Do you know what's going on with Revolt? Because her show has been canceled. Have all those shows on Revolt been canceled? Like, is Revolt just done now?
I can definitely see that. That's probably where it's going. I know he just lost.
He lost DeLeon and Ciroc.
Yeah, he just lost his alcohol deals. Well, technically he didn't lose them. They settled out, so he ended up getting money.
Yeah, but he's just not going to be affiliated going forward with those brands.
Yeah, like I said, remember we talked about it before, lifestyle brands.
Yeah.
So anytime that you invest in someone's lifestyle, you got to take that shit away when you got some improprieties.
Yeah.
But that DJ Act, man, it's a fascinating case with him because, like I said, I do understand where you come from, but he's so needed. He's needed because like he's the jester in the courtroom. He comes out, he pokes fun at the elites in the upper class from a similar perspective as a lot of regular people.
I just wish he did it with more tact because the way he does it is just so corny.
Oh man, it's definitely off the cuff a lot.
Yeah,
so like you can't get mad too much at it because it's off the cuff when you actually just look at it from you can get mad at the product, but I'm talking about from an artistic standpoint and understanding where
that's not art.
It's debatable. To entertain in the manner that he does, it takes skill. It takes a level of skill. To
be messy without tact is not art. To be messy with tact,
he has showmanship. I feel like there's showmanship.
Tasha K is more artistic in her bullshit, I think, than
I think she does better promo than Act.
Akademic does.
I think she does better promo than Act, but she doesn't do better just actual overall discussion and like him on the mic. Like the stuff that he can do on the mic and on Twitter, it's perfection. It's like what you want from a troll internet nigga in the basement.
No, he's definitely a troll. He's a ugly, nasty, under the bridge troll.
He's the troll that gets the attention from the elites.
Yeah.
So like I say, you like, Karisha, people like Karisha or whatever, you associated with a nasty man. So you gotta get these jokes. Y'all was already beefing, but we don't know what he already knew about that kind of situation, to why he was going so hard at y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad at him for the situation, like the language, all that. Like, to me, it's just all warranted because people come at him so reckless that at some point, why do I have to have the coof? No one has it with me. They never had it with me.
But people come at him reckless because of his platform and how he delivers things.
A lot of people early on came at him reckless, not for stuff that he went out and said, but because there was an identity painted on him. So I understand when you paint this identity on me.
Yeah, he has a pathetic identity.
Well, it's just the whole Chirac and
like,
dissing niggas and calling niggas coons and all that other shit. Like, it was some slick Republican shit, but, you know, that's kind of what happens when, I ain't gonna get into too much of all that. But you know how those boys from the islands come back and get money. They start voting for the donkey. I mean, excuse me, for the elephant.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that is. That's how he came off to a lot of people. You over here calling niggas coons and like he bringing out like, to me, that to a degree, like, as a Jamaican man, do you even get to say that? Like, that's where you start going in, like, you really started bringing like some spooks and all sorts of shit when you was out here criticizing these niggas. Jigaboos, he was bringing out the woodwork.
Yeah, the diaspora wars, because people, African and Caribbean people, a lot of the time look down on African American people. Mm-hmm. Like, my parents did it on a regular basis when I was growing up.
I mean, it happens.
They thought that African Americans were just like crude, had no class. Like, it's really rooted in anti-blackness. I mean,
and again, there's a lot that you would hear from the views, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, weird stick voodoo people. Like, they would say that about the island people. I mean, it's all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
I was called a Haitian booty scratcher literally so many times growing up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a difference. Like I said, there's a difference between land niggas and sea niggas. So,
I'm a sea nigga.
Caribbean are the sea niggas, and I was on my land nigga. So, but
land nigga by way of sea.
I just enjoy. I enjoy just watching Act do this. I enjoy kicking his back in though too.
I will never stop kicking his back in.
No, we're definitely going to be on top of Act anytime any situation arises. Again, I don't want to keep harping on the whole him dissing on the women shit. I just thought that shit was funny, and I wanted to share that with y'all.
It was funny though.
That shit was hilarious.
They were arguing back and forth like two bad bitches.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if anybody has the skill for that shit, is that. Like, if any guy who can go back and forth, just like a woman, is that big boy behind the camera.
I feel like there's so many people who can go back and forth with a woman and eat her up way more than Act did. Like,
Act got good practice,
the back
though.
and forth that he, like, it's not nowhere near what it should be. I feel like any woman could eat her up way better than Act could, like any woman. And then there's a list of personalities I can think of that would eat her up way more than Act would.
I feel like feminine wise, because it's the whole, assault kind of underlining tone, y'all can kind of say things that's going to hit a little bit harder. Like,
I'm just saying, there are niggas who are funnier than him who would eat her up
for sure.
But
they not going to do it though.
Way more thoroughly than
they're not going to do
because there's no point.
So we got to accept what we get.
Yeah,
we got to accept what we get. All right, let's change it up, man. We got into Lil Nas X. So as y'all know, I've been a supporter of Lil Nas X.
Ally.
I've been there for the young fella. So he dropped his single, which I was highly anticipating.
Yes.
J. Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't mad at it. I think it was some parts that were really low in it. He didn't keep the energy up the way I wanted to throughout the song. So that's why I wasn't giving it like multiple spins.
I did not listen to the song.
That's because you're a hater. You hate Lil Nas X and you're not an ally.
I don't listen to Lil Nas X's music.
You're a hater.
His music is not my bag, as I've said over and over and over again. I listen to Caribbean music and Afrobeats. I'm not listening to this low nigga who's literally making pop. I'm not listening to it.
So it all came to a head. It all came to a head when the song dropped, because he was already doing a lot of imagery. He did the
promo and things.
He did the AI art with him like Jesus, which again I was upset because I wanted to do that kind of shoot for my 33rd birthday.
Blasphemous.
But I'm still gonna do it.
Continue.
We'll put the crown of thorns and everything.
Oh my God.
Might even drop some little blood on there. Make that shit look real player. And then he got the hate of the world. Like, Kai Cenat, like, how dare you? You over here thinking yourself high and mighty to criticize your peer in this manner is vile. Like, did you hear what he said?
No, I didn't hear what Kai said. I didn't even know that Kai came out and said anything.
He was
about
honestly
Lil Nas.
Seeing a young nigga like that do that was probably one of the most ridiculous things out of all of that. Because I'm like, bro, you out of all people are not living your life in a way that you can be constructive on anybody and how they express anything. So hold on, let's get into little Sanat right here. Shame on you, Sanat.
No! Fuck that! Yo, Lil Nas X, you could eat my whole dick. I hate that nigga, bro. That shit
very
my head,
Christ-like.
bro. That nigga, bro, word of my mother, bro, God gonna handle you in the right way. I didn't even talk about that yet, bro. But look, God gonna handle you, bro. And you're, bro.
What he did?
No, bro.
What he did?
No, bro.
He was about to
God
drop
gonna handle
that
that
for it.
nigga. Real shit.
What did he do?
Nah, bro. I'm not even gonna explain it, bro.
But, bro, no.
He's extremely
nigga,
disrespectful, bro. He disrespect
Okay,
religion,
tell me how he disrespected, because, bro, you can't be on that bad timing. I'm just sitting in the corner now on bad timing.
Go on his page, bro.
Hey, yo.
He disrespect God himself. That's
Christianity?
crazy.
Like Christianity?
Yes, he disrespect the whole culture,
He was
bro.
mocking it?
Yes, mocking, making
Nigga,
fun
Lil
of.
Nas X, eat my...
No!
Oh, my...
So this is what I'm just saying. Like, y'all will get on here on y'all platforms, you know, Bootsy, corny ass, talking about he wouldn't do this to the Jews. My nigga, did you read the book, or do you just believe whatever your grandma told you? Because it's clearly Jesus is a Jew. So again, y'all niggas be talking about a book that y'all have no clue of, a life that y'all do not live. If God was so important to you, why are you having sex with women that you're not married to? Why are you engaging in drugs? Why are you tatting up your body?
Why are you taking your son to lose his virginity to literal prostitutes?
That doesn't sound Christ-like.
That's wild.
Christ was cool with the prostitutes, but he wasn't inside of them.
Why are you arguing with your daughter on social media instead of like raising her as a father should?
But I mean, it don't even have to be as specific to Boosie. It's just about how y'all live y'all life in general. Nothing about how y'all give it up reflects anything to this religion that y'all claim. Y'all are false prophets. Y'all are false believers. Y'all are fake. Y'all are truly the disrespectful one to Jesus. You sit here and claim his name. And truly, y'all are not who y'all claim to be. Y'all are not Christ-like. Y'all fail him every day and continue to do it, and then want to shine light on bigger failures in your eyes.
Yeah, in your eyes, what you interpret as a bigger failure.
Because you know your shame and your sin is on you. I don't even believe in this shit, but I know more about it than you do.
Do y'all think that certain sins outweigh other sins, and there's like a hierarchy of sins, like a food pyramid of sins?
Well, there is a level of hell in Revelations, but continue.
Is there?
Yeah.
So there are sins that are more sinful than other sins?
There's certain things that will result you in having different experiences in hell.
I did not know that. They probably don't know that either.
That's
though.
the truth, though. They don't either. They don't either. They wouldn't even be able to explain it. But there's a Revelations explains like different levels of.
I didn't read that fucking Bible.
I mean, it's again these gentlemen who claim to be feel so disrespectful. I'm looking at so many people go back and forth talking about, oh, he disrespected my religion. Everybody's okay with Christianity being taken down and taking down a peg and all that other stuff. It's like, well, one thing y'all don't spin about it. Because I remember what happened in France. Charlie, what was the Charlie name of that magazine that got shot up?
I don't remember the name of
Charlie
the magazine.
something. You go Google it. It was a magazine in France. They dropped a picture of Muhammad.
Yeah.
And then the Muslim people did what they did. You can go look it up.
It was a caricature of Muhammad, and that is haram.
But I mean, they spin about it.
Or is that Allah that's haram?
No. It's haram to make any imagery of their religion, especially the prophet. But back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, you made me forget my point.
The newspaper and the Muslims.
Oh, no, they spin about it. Y'all don't spin about it. I'm not telling people to, but I'm saying they spin about it. That's why nobody messes with their stuff. And we have to keep it real. Jesus historically has been used as a character in art almost through the whole time that the European Empire has been controlling this.
Consistently. There's so many Jesus caricatures.
Even during the Roman Empire, they made different pieces of art and work in Jesus. Like that has always been in Christianity thing that was kind of generally accepted.
Yeah. So
you can't get mad at somebody for one making a character.
Isn't it also like technically a sin to like make a caricature of something and praise it?
Well, it's to make a idol and worship it.
Yeah,
But
praising false idols.
I mean, people can say that you could be doing that with the likeness, because of the way that, again, the Jesus that people worship now, or the people that they believe Jesus to be, is not the Jesus of the Bible.
No.
Like, Jesus was in the Bible was a revolutionary. He was somebody who was for the people, was not for the rich, was not for the people of ruling class. Jesus wasn't a person that was trying to get you rich. Like, Jesus was a person trying to fight for the people and their rights, essentially.
Yeah, but his name has made people
it's just been
to be more
whitewashed.
docile.
No, it's just been whitewashed. It's been whitewashed and turned into a capitalistic ploy for you to give your 10% at church every Sunday. Go in there, make sure you get that 10% in there. Make sure that you have at least a spirit of Christianity around, so that anytime that we dictate things, we can always say, God told us to do this. And we'll have 70% of the country behind us because we said God told us to do it.
God did.
So, I mean, it's, to me, like, people always ask, like, why I speak out on religious things, because, like, oh, you're an atheist, why do you even care? It was like, it affects my life so much. Like, there's still states right now that you can't be an elected official and be an atheist. Like, that's literally in the rules.
Because you have to swear on some type of religious text, right?
No, it's just, that's their rule. They don't believe that you're a person that can be trusted in the official office if you're an atheist.
I wonder what states you get to be an atheist and hold office in.
It's like 6 states that you can't do it in.
Okay.
But I felt bad.
Texas is one
I
of
felt
them.
bad because of the pressures that was going on with this, because it got to Lil Nas X. Did you hear his apology?
No, I didn't hear his apology.
I was so upset.
Was it a video or was it like?
Yeah, he did a little video about it. But I was just, it was disappointing because I feel like the reason he did this apology wasn't because he was actually sorry to people. I don't
think he was sorry at all.
I think he did it because he knew that it didn't sell. Like, I think he only did like 80 on the Billboard 100. And for somebody like him who the money and stuff goes in, they expect to be at least top 5. Like, anytime he does these kind of antics. And so I think that was probably one of the reasons was like, damn, now we got to go into I'm sorry mode and recovery image. Because
I think the continuation of the religious thing is a little tired, because you already had everyone in the religious Christian community up in arms when you slid down a pole to hell and gave the devil a lap dance. That
was swag though.
Nah, that was literally hilarious. I love his antics, but I don't think this was. I think he dragged it a little bit with this, and there's a difference between like satire and straight up just like low-key making fun of something that a lot of people hold precious. And I think that him doubling down and doing this again probably felt like making fun of Christianity instead of like more of a satirical take on it. I understand where he's coming from though. If he wants to make fun of Christianity as a gay man, the Christians probably use Christianity in the Bible to make him feel like he's a sinner and he's gonna go to hell because of his lifestyle and who he naturally is as a person. So if this system was used to make you feel less than, then of course you're gonna like buck back at it and hate it eventually.
Oh no, I totally agree. I thought, and this is again why I hate that he apologized, because I thought that was the point.
Yeah.
Was like, no, okay, this is the tool that y'all have been using to shoot at me the entire time that I've revealed that I've been a homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use it to make y'all feel uncomfortable. So this is him in his shower cap.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to not necessarily apologize, but I wanted to explain like where my head at and where it's been for like the last week. So first of all, when I did the artwork, I knew like there would be some upset people or whatnot, simply because, you know, religion is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. But I also didn't mean to like mock. This wasn't like a fuck you to you people, fuck you to the Christians. Like, you know,
I don't like that. Stand on your circle, Nas.
That. It was literally me saying, oh, I'm back like Jesus. Like, that was like the whole thing. I'm not the first person to dress up as Jesus. I'm not the first rapper. I'm not the first artist. And I won't be the last. And I know, like, given my history with, you know, the Call Me By Your Name video, anything that I do related to religion can be seen as like mockery. That just was not the case with this. And I will say though, with the communion video, with me eating the crackers and juice,
this is so funny.
I thought that video was going to be the video to lighten the mood, to take it down like less serious or whatnot. I thought that was something that we all wanted to do as kids or whatnot, but I didn't understand the idea
The body and blood of Christ?
No, not the body and
the reality
blood.
of what it is. It's me eating the communion, which is like the symbolism of like Jesus's blood and bones or something like that. I don't remember completely, but
You said bones.
I did not mean it to as like.
Oh my God. And that's is that not a specifically Catholic thing, or do other people do that? I don't know.
No, the body and blood of Christ is a Christian sacrament.
Okay. I thought only Catholics did
But
that.
for him to say bones was hilarious.
Because he's not Christian.
And
like,
I felt like
he's
he
not
was
raised in a
trolling.
church.
I felt that's to me, he was trolling. He knew it was blood, but bones was funnier. Bones was hilarious. The bones of Christ are hilarious. That's insane. Bones of Christ.
Yeah. Lil Nas, I don't think you needed to apologize because I feel like your audience didn't give a fuck about that apology.
You know what you should have
The
did?
people who are still listening to you at this point aren't diehard Christians. Like,
what you should have did was you should have took the Christian flag and then put it on top underneath a rainbow. So like instead of having whatever the Christian flag is, like a white flag with like a blue little corner with red cross on it, should have just made a rainbow. The entire thing. Double down. You have to double down at this point.
yeah.
You cannot abort. All right? I know you were pregnant at one point. You cannot abort. I remember.
Yeah, he was pregnant with Montero, his project.
So I remember that you can't abort. You have to double down. You were supposed to birth this sinful baby.
Yeah, I don't think the apology was necessary at all.
You were supposed to be the Antichrist. That was supposed to be the next single.
You
Antichrist.
remember when they was calling Obama the Antichrist?
Yeah. That was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
2008, 2010. It's a good time on the internet. Y'all niggas would never know the shit that we was watching. Oh my goodness.
It was a time on Twitter where it formed my insecurities.
There was a time on YouTube where like every conspiracy theory, it's actually just the status now, but every conspiracy theorist started being like, it was like a Christian theme undertone with every conspiracy video.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate that so much because I'd be like, yo, are there any creative conspiracy theorists anymore? Like everybody's, the devil's taking over. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Where's Project Wide Awake? Where's the good stuff? Where's the MK Ultra again?
Yeah, tell me about what they're trying to do with mind control.
What's in the water? God damn, I don't want to hear about the devil.
Tell me about the chemtrails.
The devil don't even make nothing fly. Like, he just be doing the lame shit.
Just make believe.
Y'all should be corny, yo. I'm tired of those. I remember I told somebody that I was tired of those conspiracies, and they was like, yo, you are the sickest nigga I know. I said I'm tired of the Christian-based conspiracy theories. No, I'm done. Can I have a secular conspiracy theorist? Can I not be the only one? Those meetings are lonely.
I'm sure they are.
Everybody wants to blame God because they're not smart enough to think a little bit harder.
It's the white man.
Yeah.
It's not God, it's the white man. If you want somebody to
blame the white
whites.
Man. I think our overall takeaway here is Lil Nas X, you got to stand on your circle, my man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gay boys at home.
You got to stand on business.
There's a lot of gay boys at home that needed you to stand on that business, and you kind of let them down with this apology. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not one of them, but I know some ones that would have called me and been like, hey, bro.
Why would you apologize to the Christian when TD Jakes is doing the bending?
Allegedly.
Like, there's nothing to apologize to. It's not a solid community for you to even need to do that.
and I don't honestly think that they was going to bump. Well, I don't think they are the reason why this song went 80, because if this shit would have slapped, this would have been a #1 record. Like,
yeah, it probably just wasn't a good song.
I went out and said that you was going to be a generational talent. I still believe that, but you gotta pause.
The talent has to be there.
You got to come a little harder.
My husband just told Lil Nas X that he has to come a little harder. That's crazy.
That's just real.
Wow.
That's real.
Never figured you for a You gotta beat that out.
Damn. All right, man. Let's wrap.
What we got next?
I felt like that was weird to say. Let's wrap this up now.
Like you want to wrap Lil Nas up?
No, I don't do that.
And make him come hard?
No, that's vile behavior, Ferragamos. You need to stop, all right? Miss Reality. Stop that behavior. I think we have to bring Mr. Richey to the stand. Boston Richey, are you familiar with him?
I've been seeing this on literally all of the social media. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on TikTok. I saw it on Facebook.
Sir, you have nasty man allegations.
The aunties are talking about this on Facebook. In my natural hair community group, in my fragrance and smell good black woman community group, all the girls are talking, all the women, not the girls, all the women are talking about this.
We're going to talk about why, and why my theory is why the women are up in arms about this. But let's just give a breakdown. So a lot of y'all are not familiar with Boston Richey. I'm pretty sure because he doesn't get a lot of spins.
Just a nigga.
I'm just talking shit. He gets a little spins. He got some burn.
Is he a
rapper.
oh, I thought he was a scammer, drug dealer, very like he does the shit.
You know, he's a rapper, but like unfortunately his claim to fame right now is the fact that 1090 Jake accused him of being a snitch about a year ago.
So you a snitch and a pedophile. If you go to jail,
well,
it's
can
over.
Can we stop using that for women that are matured, like physically? Like pedophile is
he's a pedophile.
No, he's not. Pedophile is if she's.
I'm gonna keep saying it,
but it doesn't do it right. He just he's just a nasty man. Let's just call him that.
He's a pedophile.
Can we call him? Can we square that circle
No.
on the nasty man?
No.
I'm sure if this was a white man, you'd square that circle. But
No.
besides that
square would get so jagged if it was a white man.
I don't believe it.
That square would become a star.
I don't
of
believe
David.
it.
No, I'm kidding.
You're a sicko, yo. You need to be stopped. You need to be stopped. You need to be muted. I shouldn't have gave you a platform.
You shouldn't have. Should have never gave me a mic.
Should have never gave these niggas nothing. Damn. Okay, so like I said, he's been accused of being a rat, and he's also now in the circle because he has been alleged to have been dating the 18-year-old Tiana Chanel.
She just turned 18.
Recently. She just turned 18. And what they're accusing this man of touching the pussy before it was ripe.
So they started dating when she was 16.
That was what they said?
She was 16 and he was 23. They've been dating for a while already. They've been together.
I didn't know it was for a while. I thought it was for like a year. I thought he caught that at 17.
No. She was 16, he was 23.
All right. So you know what I said, right? Remember what I said a few episodes ago? When niggas get money, what happens? They subtract 10 years off their life. Nigga thought he was 13. Nigga thought he was 13. Nigga thought he was going up.
Every day I think about that post that says men should start in jail and work their way out, and I think about that regularly.
So we gonna blame this on a nigga when we got more information. So.
Oh yeah, nah, we.
yeah, nigga, yeah. I got excited.
Yeah, you got a little too. Yeah. There are more people in this situation who belong in jail, though. Definitely.
All right, so the internet went awry when the information about her age came out, and people were accusing him of nasty man behavior. So, what do you do in this situation?
So fucking unserious.
So what do you do in this situation? We go to the goddamn parents, and I know this woman is going to be a leader of our community.
Nope.
And stand on motherfucking business.
And stand up for her daughter, we thought. Read the nonsense.
So her name is Your Obsession on Instagram. Already a red flag.
Why? You're 50.
Why
nobody's obsession.
Why y'all hoes so pressed about my daughter? Y'all weird as fuck. Stay out my DMs. I blocked y'all 1,000,000 times. And y'all making fake pages just to contact me again? You're weird. And if I don't reply to you or even acknowledge you, it's because clearly you're nobody. I don't care about anything you're saying. Y'all know absolutely nothing about me and damn sure don't know shit about my daughter. And y'all damn sure ain't clearing shit up. Why y'all so pressed? What's the real issue? Yeah, that's what I thought. Y'all really take your time out of your day to actually find my profile, because my name is nowhere on here, and reach out to the mother of a famous model? For what?
Famous is crazy.
I'm telling you. I just found out about this young bitch. Like, what are you talking about?
The fuck?
You don't think that's weird?
She's famous because her boyfriend's a pedophile.
Nothing you say will ever matter. Remember that. I'm a Capricorn, baby. I'm a fucking goat. This bitch said that.
Oh my God, she's a pathetic old bitch.
But I'm going to say it again. If you ain't got haters, you ain't popping. Kiss face, laugh face, piss face. Why? So, this seems like she was cool with it. And you know what I'm going to say? If your mama going to sell you off, who am I to say you can't be sold off?
A decent human being. Like what? If your mama's selling you off, everyone else around should be like, hey, your mama's a piece of shit. Like what? Just because the people who are supposed to be taking care of her aren't taking care of her doesn't mean you just let her go.
Well, they're in the state of Florida, and I did some research. The age of consent is
Florida is a
18.
free-for-all
No, it's not.
garbage
It's
state.
18. It's 18.
Okay, so they were dating 2 years before that, though.
So, yeah. So, again, she is the... Okay, so the way that the rules work is that if you're under 18, you cannot consent to sex. And you know what I'm saying? That's what it says. You can't consent.
Is it one of those states where your parent can?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Well, this is what it is. Your parents have to press the charges. You get what I'm saying?
Her mom is not doing that.
So if her...
Obviously, this nigga is buying her Chanel bags and providing her with a life.
Her name is Tiana Chanel.
Yeah. So, no, the mom. So
no, the daughter is Tiana Chanel. Oh,
no, I'm talking about the boyfriend is probably providing her and her mother with a lifestyle that they did not have access to prior.
Oh, 100%.
Which is why, so she's probably one of those moms that's like vicariously living through her daughter.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you're fine with your daughter being in this situation, being with a 23-year-old when she's 16, every mother should be like Mama Bear and be like, no, this is creepy. This man wants nothing from you but to manipulate you because you're of a certain age. If she's with that, then she's obviously with the manipulation. She will help this man manipulate you so that they can benefit from your downfall.
I think that was a very intricate thought there.
Yeah. It's like fucking like Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Remember when...
Or The Family That Prays? Was that the other one?
No.
What was the one that she was setting her up?
The one where yeah.
Family That Prays.
No.
She set him up with the husband.
Were there multiple Tyler Perry movies where the black mom sets her daughter up to be sexually assaulted?
No, not to be assaulted. She set her up to fuck with the son so she can get in.
No, but I'm talking about Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Oh,
she was like,
well.
and she did my hair and put me in the bathtub, and he came in there and me. You remember that?
Yeah,
that's what it's given.
Wild.
Like she's given
that
that
was a
type
wild
of
performance
mother.
you just gave right there. Like, we're not about to just overstep that, yo. What the heck? You went into the face and everything, yo. You really broke that down.
Period.
Hey, don't let
I
Tyler
should have
see
been
that.
an actress, low key.
Don't let Tyler see that. He gonna try to sign you up.
And I'ma sign up. I'ma sign up
to a 720. The TP 720 bit deal. You ain't even gonna have a break for lunch.
Nah, dead ass.
But what was I about?
My company already treat me better than Tyler Perry.
I'm gonna say this, man. I took a look at this girl in regards to my investigation. Now I'm
like every girl, every cute girl.
I'm a strong man, so I can resist a lot of things. But I can see where the flesh be weak at. I'm just saying. I'm looking at 18-year-old pictures. I'm sorry, I can say that. That's of age pictures. I can see where the flesh would be weak. I'm not condoning it.
You're a vile,
I'm not condoning it.
You're a vile, disgusting.
They wasn't looking like this when I was 18. I'm gonna just tell you that.
Shit, man.
They was not looking like this when I was 18.
You need to get your shit together.
There was probably like when I was in college, there was probably one girl.
I'm disgusted.
It was one girl at my college who looked anything close to the way this girl looked. One, and she ended up being pregnant by a rapper.
There's always girls who look older than.
I'm not talking about
like literally. There was a girl I went to. She was in sixth grade. No, this was sixth grade. She was titties, ass.
That's not her fault.
Yeah, it's never their fault though. They just look like that. But it don't change the fact that they're still young as shit, and you have to discern as a grown ass man whether this is a overly developed young woman, a young girl, or not.
We talked about this. We're gonna talk about this a little bit later in our Mean Girls review. But these 18-year-olds, they ain't 18 like they used to. These shawties is 18 like the 21-year-olds when I was coming up. Cause the 18-year-old girls I was around, they was not pulling up like this. The cat suits, the wigs, the makeup, it wasn't like that.
The difference between
2010 hoes was not like that.
No, they're not. You're 100% right. The difference between teenage girlhood in the 90s, the 2000s, the early 2010s versus now is social media. Your access to how to learn how to look older, how to gain that skill faster than I did.
In 2010, they was just learning how to put the makeup on at 18.
I had to, over time, like, especially with my skin tone as a black girl, like, I had to, over time, learn how to do my makeup. First of all, we started out with, like, CVS, those, like, full beauty kits with, like, everything in it, right? Your eyeshadows, your blushes, like, the whole thing came all together. The girls now are going to Sephora, and they're getting full beauty kits with Fenty. They're getting their Drunk Elephant skincare. Like the middle school girls are starting out where we started out as like late high school, college, which is like absolutely insane. But I think it's because of all of the influencers that they watch, and you're not necessarily as a girl like discerning between who is a 25, 27-year-old influencer and like a 15-year-old influencer. You're following the like 25, 30-year-old girl, the woman, and she's giving you tips on how to do your hair, how to do your makeup, how to dress, and you're following that as like a 13-year-old. So I think that heavily plays a part in why the girls look so much older than they do now. They're definitely
There's something in the food, yo.
That I was going to say that next. It definitely has to do with how overly processed our food is too. There are GMOs and hormones in everything. So like our levels of hormones and things are probably super out of whack, and things are our puberty is looking different as time goes by, and it's absolutely insane. Like the girls, the skincare is crazy. The makeup skills are on par with women who are 10 years older than them. The everything, they know all of the skills, and then they have all of the little like things go on TikTok. You know what leggings to put on to make your ass look 2 times bigger. You got the little BBL jacket to make your waist look super small. Like they're concerned with things that we were not concerned about.
Man, these young niggas can't even like, they not even gonna have the experience of hitting the girl that don't know she cute yet. Like y'all don't even have that experience no more. Like when you used to see that, and be like, oh, she don't even know like what little this and that. You take it to one of your homegirls, she hit her with this and that. And now she A1. That don't even happen no more. Like it ain't like it used to be sometimes at an 18-year-old young man, you was in something that you knew you had no business being in.
Unless she poor. Like unless she got no money, and that's why she don't know. That's why she's not as at her level of attractiveness.
Now you manipulating a young woman.
Yeah.
But no, it used to be like at 18, she didn't know she was cute yet.
Yeah.
She didn't know she was wearing bigger pants, so she didn't know she had that ass. And then you over here finesse her drop them draw, and you like, oh shit, I done got me a 10-piece for the price of a 5. Like, for real. I'm not supposed to be in this.
Yeah.
Like, you looking at your bank account after you hit her, and you like, yo, this don't match up at all. Like, I'm not supposed to be in women this attractive with the amount of money that's in my account right now. But it can't happen for these young niggas no more. These chicks cost too much right now.
I think the girls want to look older, but then I think there's a different thing that's happening with the younger boys that are growing up on social media. I feel like they think that they have to have way more money.
Well, let's talk about the next topic then, because it kind of bleeds into it.
Okay. Do you want me to pause this?
No, you can say what you're about to say, because it's going to bleed into it.
I think the younger boys of this generation think that they need to be further along in life than they are, and they think that they need to have more money. They think that they need to be driving a specific type of car. They need to be wearing this and that. They need to be investing in Bitcoin, and they need to have this type of platform and this and that, and you need to be a boss, and you need to have a portfolio and this and that. You're 14.
Hold on, that was a shot though. What you just said earlier.
No, but like that's what I've seen this regularly on social media. Like,
no, I'm just saying that
like little boys are aspiring to things that like you shouldn't be as like. Maybe you can have like a poster of a Ferrari in your room, but actually thinking that you should have a Ferrari at 18 is crazy.
No, yeah, I mean that for sure. I'm just talking about because what we talked about earlier this morning.
Yeah,
you tried to say the Bitcoin thing. That was a shot.
Yeah.
But no, it goes into what I was wanting to talk about with that, because you have these images like what we talked about, Lil RT. And now you have a new guy that just came out, little 11-year-old FNG, Lil King. He was just in the club for his 11th birthday, had a little baby in the club with him. Had, I believe he's a Finesse 2 Times artist, so Finesse 2 Times was in the club. Drake was in the club with him.
Yup.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourself, because
y'all
know y'all would not have y'all sons up there in that club just like that.
Drake, your son is in Europe, gallivanting around the world, learning a bunch of different languages and skills, playing the piano.
And I know you wasn't trying to get a verse.
Trying to make this little boy what you call it. He's literally you're exposing your son to culture and things that will grow his cognitive functioning while supporting the detriment of another little black boy, which is absolutely insane.
Like, this boy's in the club. Folks is drinking, so they're not being responsible.
Who let this boy in the club?
The same folks that was letting Bow Wow in the club when he was little. If you pay the post enough, they gonna let it. They gonna say he just a performer in the act.
Yeah. For
the night, they gonna do whatever little things they gotta do to bypass the rules. But like, all of y'all black men doing this are failing our community. Like, straight up.
I think
and it goes back to what you said about having this lifestyle that they want to aspire to.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have these guys that literally do that to these little kids. And they have no concept of clout, of how this is going to be an up and down thing, how you actually got to have talent.
It's really fucked
to
up.
do this. And they don't understand none of that. And then you have guys who try to live this lifestyle so much that you end up having a Lil Perk, who, if y'all not familiar, in Atlanta, he just got sentenced to a life sentence because he killed a 12-year-old at the local shopping center.
How old is Lil Perk?
16.
Like, you have a life sentence.
But he did this. He was 16 when he got the sentence. So he was 14 when it happened. And the boy was 12.
He was 14 and killed a 12-year-old.
Yes.
Like, there's
on
no
some street
reason,
beef type shit.
Like, if a 14-year-old has beef with a 12-year-old, it should go no further than like playground fighting. These
boys are at a local popular shopping area, and they get into it and get people shot. Why
does either of these boys, regardless of which one of them had guns, if both of them had guns or not,
because
why do they have guns?
Because if you look into it, some of those boys that was involved are in popular Atlanta rappers' brothers. They're involved, and that's why they having all these little sub beefs and shit going on. They're trying to be like the bigger rappers that they see, talking about spinning, talking about, they bout that life, and when it comes down to it, they're going to be dumb and crash out. And then y'all niggas, y'all Drakes, y'all Lil Babies, y'all just forget about them.
Speaking of Lil Baby,
y'all gonna put something on Lil Perk book? No,
y'all just gonna forget about him. He's just gonna spend the rest of his life in prison, and then that's it. So I wanted to bring this up. when I saw this topic, I thought it was really interesting. When it comes to Lil Baby and like specifically, you remember when that video came out of his son,
with his baby mama?
Yeah, with Jada, and then
the juice.
Everyone was like, "Oh, he's giving."
I saw that. I had that so wrong. I didn't get what people were talking about.
He just looked like a little boy, didn't he?
I watched it and just thought people were saying because they were trying. I thought the whole conversation was about her exploiting him, doing a little prank because he drank something that wasn't a juice and made a little face or something, right?
No, they were saying that the boy was a little too sassy.
Yes, I didn't realize that was the conversation. I thought the conversation was about her exploiting his son.
Nobody cares about when parents exploit their children.
They never do. And that was another part I wanted to talk about this before you get on your point, was about how we so often, little boys, we just treat them with so haphazard.
Yes.
Like, it's disgusting.
We don't protect little black boys the way, I don't even want to say we don't protect little black boys the same way we protect little black girls. We protect black boys in a different way than we protect black girls.
The reason why I say that is because if those same men had a female rapper that was 11-year-old in the club,
that would be insane.
We would all call them disgusting monsters.
They would be like what happened to this little girl this night around all of these men?
But nobody says that about this little boy.
No.
What could have happened to them?
What could have happened? But literally, what could have happened to him?
What could have been introduced to him? What could have been going on in that club? People get shot in the club.
Like, that's really fucked up.
And it's like nobody cares. Nobody looks at it like that. Nobody wants to have any empathy. And then they become the 30-year-old nigga jumping over the fucking bailiff to get to the judge. And then y'all say, oh, I'm glad these niggas in jail because they crash out goofies. When y'all didn't give a fuck about them the entire time they were growing up.
During their development, when their development was getting fucked up.
You encouraged it.
When it was
you thought it was funny. You thought it was cute. You put them in all the little Gucci. You dressed them like the drug dealers and all that shit when they was little. Then when they grow up, they want to keep imitating that. And then you sit here and fail them in that manner because you want to encourage bad behaviors. I'd rather you not be around than encourage bad behaviors.
I just want to point out the difference between the reception of Lil Baby and Jada's son when they thought that he might have been a little too sassy, and all of, like, I saw more uproar and people up in arms about, like, she's raising him to be too feminine. And he might eventually be gay. And people were so concerned about that because that would be so detrimental to his life. And then Lil Baby had a 11-year-old in the club with him around what we can probably assume: alcohol, definitely; drugs, definitely; like sexually explicit behavior, definitely. That just generally happens in the club. Even if the it's not happening with the people around him, he can probably just look around and see it happening. So the fact that, like, y'all were not equally as mad with his childhood being tainted as y'all were upset with loyal, potentially, like, what, being feminized in some way, shape, or form, which I don't agree with at all. But, like, y'all are really genuinely concerned with the wrong things, because so what if the little boy grows up gay? That's not gonna
Well, it happens when
fuck him up.
It happens when the people who are the counterculture are just the counterculture for the sake of being the counterculture. Like, we have folks, like we said, there's the Cat Williams who criticize the feminization of black men as an attack on their manhood. But then you also have the other people who will then use those same ideals and rhetoric and push it.
I have a point about, I just want to bring up the feminization of the black man point after this. Continue.
No, but I said they use that point to try to push this narrative that then becomes anti, gay people, anti-LGBT, to try to, under the guise of, oh, they're just trying to control our thought patterns and try, like, do you idiots hear yourself say, when I don't agree with your lifestyle, is telling somebody you don't agree with who they are as a person? That is the same thing.
It's the same shit.
And it's like we've gotten so pushed out because
it's semantics.
Because people's monies have been affected, and instead of trying to learn how to be better and trying to actually have a community where we are forgiving and teaching, we have a community that shames and punishes, and that only makes an individual want to then double down. Because you have to. You got to find those people with you who are going to double down with you, and then you create your hive and that you grow. So then when you call out somebody on their behavior or the fact that they use their craft or their tool in one particular manner, you have so many warriors going to bat for them.
So because this is a topic that I just wanted to ask you about, because it's something that I just randomly thought about in the past couple days with everything that's been going on with the whole dress conversations and things of that nature. We did talk about it last week. So, there's a theory that there is an agenda to feminize black men, right? So with the dresses and with more imagery of homosexual black men in the media, people have been thinking that there's this whole agenda to feminize the black man. On the same coin, literally same token, and on the other end, we can say that the black man has been demonized. The black man has been made to seem more aggressive, more dangerous, and like you've been made to fear the black man. So what do you think? I don't know what my question is. What do you think is the imagery that outweighs the other? Like, what do you see more? What do you think the point is behind the imagery? And like, what do you think is happening? Because do you think black men are being more feminized, or do you think black men are being demonized? Because I see both.
I think that it is both. At the end of the day, there is going to be both.
And what's the agenda? If we analyze all of this together, like, what do you think is happening? Because I can't like gather the conspiracy behind both the things, being that they're both such opposite like imageries. Like, what do they want us to think?
I mean, at the end of the day, what you're kind of doing, you're convoluting two kind of different factions.
Yeah.
But it is used in an overall marketing. My main kind of takeaway, just kind of from what you presented.
What two different factions do you think I'm convoluting?
Like the people who are homophobic, and then the people who take certain racial ideologies and certain racial principles that have happened over the decades and apply it to modern day. So there is certain behaviors that can be viewed through that, but they aren't always like they think that them putting you in a dress or make you do feminine things is what is emasculating you. But it's, when I tell you to talk about a company or something, or talk about me in a certain way, you're going to do it. That's control. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit with Stephen A. Smith. But that's control. When a narrative can be or you will defend something, not because it's the truth or a fact, but because the person who is saying it is doing it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where those two kind of worlds convolute, where it's like, yeah, there is some historical fact to this, but a lot of it's just coming from the fact that a lot of black men have been radicalized by the right and a lot of right information and talking points. Mm-hmm. And now that's where the homophobia has kind of really seeped in, especially when you bleed into the religion like we just talked about, and then you believe in all these other paranoia ideas.
So you think the homophobia, the feminization of the black man argument is rooted more in whiteness than...
It's rooted in homophobia, but it's been perverted through our history of racism to then kind of turn into a different way where it's like, now you're applying this to men who actually just feel like this, rather than saying, I'm forcing two strong men who don't identify this and are against their idea. Like, we try to act like being gay is against our religion. Like, not just religion in a sense, like... against
our nature.
Yeah, like, we try to act like...
black men are not supposed to be gay. Like, this is something that was imposed upon them by the white man.
It was pushed on
us. They would never be gay if it wasn't for the white man.
Yeah, like, there isn't stuff in Egypt that shows men loved each other in Egypt. Like, there's literally art.
Pre-colonialism, there was mad homosexuality and gay. Niggas been gay.
I mean,
niggas been gay.
You go through the Roman Empire, you go through Europe and all that stuff. You can go down through Africa. Like, there's plenty of times of doctrine where men have had so much experience and so much time and so much stuff on their hands that they've experimented with everything.
Yeah.
And that's just like, it wasn't looked at like they were less than because they could just have somebody off you. Like, easy. Like, there wasn't no discussion about it. But no, like, in regards to that, it's a lot of paranoia. It's a lot of different, because it's kind of like where you take truth and mix a little bit of your lie with it. Where you take, there was buck breaking back in slavery, but that's not necessarily everything that's happening, because there's also a history of men in dress being funny. So again, like, I don't want to get too much into it because we did talk about it in our last episode.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely more so pushed from a homophobia agenda. That's what people think they're standing on. All right, so we got to get into this. So as we know, MLK Day just passed. Mm-hmm. Shout out to a legend and an OG. And
R.I.P. Big Martin Luther.
I came from a time where on Martin Luther King Day, white people would start misusing the identity of Martin Luther King for their own agenda. Oh my God! Like they would misinterpret his message and talk about
he died for
this
man was murdered
for all the children, so all the children can be judged by the color, the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
Yeah,
all
so the
jazz.
white children and the black children can play together in the sandbox.
I'll tell you now, I had a dream. But no, we need to talk about these new Caucasians.
Jonathan Majors could fuck white women and get sued by them.
But I need to speak about these new Caucasians. You new Caucasians are different. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't follow the code. Y'all on this red pill identity, and it got y'all set tripping.
New whitey.
This is a new white man. A new white man we have on us, ladies and gentlemen.
I like that little jingle. Do that one more time.
I can't do that. That was a mystery one. I risked
okay.
it. I risked it.
We never did that before. I like that one.
That was a risk it, no biscuit right there. But no, we got to get into it. So one of our ops, Pearly Things,
terrible white woman.
She had some disrespectful things to say. She said the red pillist Dr. King was a race hustler, a vile lady. But that wasn't it.
And you should have stopped saying things, Pearly Things.
Her Caucasian compadres got right behind her. Matt Walsh, director, he's part of the documentary for What is a Woman? Mm-hmm. The transphobic documentary.
Yeah.
He says, a lot of people are upset about the criticism of MLK Jr. today. But these floodgates opened a long time ago. Our historical heroes have been torn down. We've been told to focus on their sins and shortcomings. Columbus has been labeled a genocidal killer. Jefferson was nothing but a slave owner, and etc. Well, if this is the standard, then we have to talk about MLK was a communist, a plagiarist, an adulterer, an abuser, an alleged rapist, and more. If you don't want to hear this, you shouldn't have spoken up louder in defense of men like Christopher Columbus. And you did it, but you did it. And so here we are. One standard for all, like it or not. Matt Walsh, you're an idiot. And you're
dramatic reading brought to you by Rhetoric.
And you're pushing FBI lies. And I won't have it, and I won't stand for it. And I'm not done.
I didn't know that the rumor that Martin Luther King was cheating on his wife with white women was a FBI lie, but I'm sorry for pushing that narrative.
Apologize to Bernice. What's her name? What's his daughter name? B. King. I know it starts with a B. I think it does. And then there is Charlie Kirk. Who was MLK? A myth that was created and has grown totally out of control.
This nigga was a full human being.
While he was alive, most people disliked him. Yet today, he's the most honored and worshipped, even defiled person in the 21st century. Today, we're going to tell the truth and explain how the myth was born. Happy Monday.
I feel like
there was an attack on the Caucasians on the big end, and I don't like it. I'm not for it, and I'm not going to accept it. Pearly things and you and your white men, you will be stopped.
Did you know that Pearly Things apparently is dating a black man? Like her.
Well, he's
boyfriend is
he's probably a UK black man.
black?
Those are top tier Uncle Toms.
Wow.
I'm putting it out there.
Clipping that. That's a clip. That's a clip.
You UK black man, generally Uncle Toms. I'm gonna put it out there.
The dark-skinned girlies have it much harder than in the UK than we have it here. We have it hard.
I mean, they have it rough out there. They not looking their direction at all.
Period.
Like at all.
If there's
and there's no social pressures the same way.
Like the brown paper bag test is even lighter in the UK than
it is the milk cup test. Are you darker than a cup of milk? I'm not with it.
It's a computer paper test.
It is a scratch sheet of paper test.
Yeah, receipt paper test.
You UK Negroes are vile.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate when you and you know
James
I hate when
Fuhad.
And you know I hate when you
Shout
listen
out to James and Fuhad.
And you know I hate when you listen to that UK content because they be
it's usually James and Fuhad. And Foot Asylum because I love Chunks and Philly and Nella.
How you gonna do it? Blah, 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 blah. Country ass stick niggas.
Wow.
Them stick niggas. And I'm not gonna be going for this MLK hate any longer. All right. I understand some of us may have had the affliction of the white woman. And I know what, I forgive them for it.
What do you mean us?
I said some of us may have had the affliction of the white woman.
You mean some of them?
Some of us may have had the affliction of the white woman.
Some of them.
Some of us may have had the affliction of the white woman.
Some of them!
I can't. Hey, I've had some spicy white in my day, baby. I'm sorry.
Wow!
I'm sorry. But y'all are not going to disrespect MLK.
Ashamed.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. Agent of white supremacy. You worried about some improprieties when I'm trying to defend a honorable black Negro.
Well, the improprieties are propriety.
That's what I'm too focused on. That's what y'all are too focused on. And it is vile behavior. We can't get out of racism without our women. And that's the truth. And if y'all can't be agents of white supremacy.
Let's move on.
Fair enough. All right. So this is I'm probably gonna get off a little bit on this one because unfortunately,
a little bit.
I just went off.
That's not something
talking
you
about
usually
these
do.
Uncle Toms, and I'm about to defend one, kinda. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know the man, Jason Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith. If y'all not aware, we'll play. I'm just gonna start it off with just a little bit of what Stephen A. had to say about Mr. Whitlock, because it's pretty much happened. There's a beef between them, and I'm gonna explain it in just a little bit. But I just feel like what he said was peak television. Like it was peak YouTube. Mr. Stephen A., can you just take away for us for a moment?
Were betrayed by this particular writer, so you know how I must feel that you betrayed me. Did you tell the folks that? You bitch.
Wow.
Did you tell them? You fat piece of shit.
Wow.
Tell them that? Got the names. We got Jamel Hill. We got Howard Bryant. You want me to bring up the other writers that wouldn't work for you? Why it took you nearly 2 years to get an article out? Because you ran that shit so bad you were running it into the ground? What a disgrace you were to John Skipper, the former boss of ESPN, or the host of others. You want me to talk about that? Because I got receipts. I got the email. Want me to talk about that? Now, just for everybody that wants to understand, how could this possibly be? Because once upon a time, I actually tried to speak up for this damn cretin. I knew he was a piece of shit. But I said,
What'd you say?
look, maybe
Tell
it's
him.
misunderstood. Why would I do that, ladies and gentlemen?
Why?
Because sometimes as black folks, we get in our own way. We think that all of us must be of one monolithic thinking, that we need to be completely and totally aligned.
Okay.
And any deviation from that brings into question our quote unquote blackness.
All right, so we're going to cut that out, cut that a little short there. That nigga went on for like 4 minutes on that nigga.
Yeah, Stephen ain't like to hear himself talk.
Oh, for sure. That's why he had to get that YouTube show going. All right, so
do we, though.
we got to kind of have to spark. I want to give everybody a little bit, just so they know what occurred here. So these two gentlemen have had long-standing beef, okay? This is something that has been, if you are familiar with the sports journalism world, has been something that Jason Whitlock has been open with his shit talk of Stephen A. He will go at him, call him every kind of plant, anytime it's necessary. Stephen A. has always took the I'm holier than thou approach. I'm not saying your names. This was the first time he addressed it. So let's talk about what was the trigger.
You bitch.
We got to talk about what was the trigger. Okay? So Stephen A. has just dropped a memoir where he talks about his life and kind of goes into extensive detail. And he talks about, you know, his sports career.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily professional, but his amateur sports career. And my boy Whitlock, he said, bro, we got to call some shit into question.
Mm-hmm.
Some shit ain't adding up. You telling me you barely played in high school, but you got a college scholarship? That don't add up.
Yeah.
And he's right. That
doesn't.
shit don't sound. And then he tells this story. He went to a tryout, and this Negro says he hit 17 threes. Never did it before, never did it again. 17 threes during this.
Just at the tryout? How convenient.
At this tryout. How convenient is that, Negro? How convenient is that? So I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, Whitlock, you're a conservative nigga that I generally don't agree with.
Nope.
But my nigga, you make a lot of good points.
Mm-hmm.
You're hitting a nail on the goddamn head. This shit don't never sound right.
Because you hitting the nail on the head against the black man.
My thing is this: I don't like Whitlock as his political stance. I don't believe in a lot of stuff that he's agree with, and a lot of things that he stands for. I will say, any black man that's getting his own check and building his own company, I'm always gonna have a baseline respect for.
Mm-hmm.
Because you getting out the mud, you not having ESPN sign your checks, you not going about getting it the dirty way. You get it the dirty way, but your dirty way. You control of the dirt. You not doing it because you don't have someone putting a battery in your back. You wake up in the morning and choose violence.
Yep.
So I respect that. I can always respect that. So when he called out Stephen A., I'm thinking, this man Stephen A. is going shit talk. He gonna get in his bag, but he's gonna address the lies. I listened. He didn't address the lies. All he did was do some BS high school shit, where it's like, okay, he caught me in a corner, so I'm gonna just play the popular kid role. And that's exactly what he did. He went out there and said, nobody likes you. You fat as fuck.
No.
You a bitch. That's what you heard it. That's what he just said.
So, okay, what have you? I don't know if I missed this, but how long has this beef been going on between Stephen A. and Jason Whitlock?
So according to them, it's been going on since Jason Whitlock, when he left ESPN, or maybe before ESPN, he was at a position where he was hiring writers.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a chance to hire Stephen A.
Mm-hmm.
But he told his bosses that he didn't feel like Stephen A. was a good enough writer.
Okay, so
that's why he didn't sign him on.
I have been assuming this whole time that Jason Whitlock is a white man. Am I correct in that?
Incorrect. He's a black man with a heavy variety of that's why he called him fat. He's a fat black man.
Okay, so this is like, it seems to me, a black man hindering and like low-key being a hater, and
Whitlock
like
being a hater?
for another black man's
You
career.
say Whitlock is being a hater?
Yeah.
There is
in the beginning.
Of course. No, don't get me wrong.
If he was like stopping him and saying that he's like not right for this position.
Well, see, that was Whitlock who said that to Stephen A. But Stephen A. is the higher figure now. So there could be some.
So it seems like even more like hateration in the beginning. Was Whitlock in a higher position than Stephen A.
Let me explain
in
to
his
you.
inception?
Let me explain to you.
Yes.
So when we talk about sports writing and sports journalism, you got to remember, for a large part of their career, it was about the pen. Nobody saw what you look like.
Yeah.
They just saw your name.
Mm-hmm.
So when the business changed over to being on TV, somebody like Stephen A., decent looking man,
More aesthetically pleasing.
It's going to transition.
Whitlock, who
When you take a look at Jason
is
Whitlock,
apparently
you start
big
breathing.
boned.
My thing is this: when you take a look at Jason Whitlock, you start breathing heavy.
Let me look up Jason Whitlock while you're
Jason
explaining.
Whitlock has some of the worst profile photos known to man. Like, this is a big boy. Like, he's always been heavy set. He wears the weird fedoras.
Okay.
Like, he comes off like a guy that says, "Oh, the black women didn't like me in high school."
Yeah.
You can see that, right?
The fedora, the suit is big and the fedora is small.
Steve Harvey suits and fedoras. That's what Jason Whitlock was on.
Steve
the whole
Harvey
time.
suits and Neo
Fedoras.
fedoras.
So when it changed to being TV, your fat ass ain't gonna stick. So of course there's gonna be hate there. I agree. There may be some hate, but don't worry.
The tatas.
I'm directing the hate in the avenue of truth. And I hate seeing this. I've seen so many people covering this. And I even had conversations in my own personal group chat about this, where folks was talking about, oh, why Stephen A gotta stoop down to this, or why Stephen A not being respected, or Stephen A, I'm on Stephen A's side. And I'm like, are you niggas listening? Are you paying attention? Because right now, it sounds like there's a lot of ball glazing going on around here. Like, it's a lot of craziness occurring over here.
Have to do it too.
My bad. There's a lot of craziness going on over here.
It
And
it's
it's not acceptable. The craziness is not acceptable. I'm not with it. Okay? Like, we have to stand on principles and values. And we have to sit here and can't ball glaze a man because his feelings were hurt. Stephen A should be ashamed. Should be ashamed. Because you didn't address the point. I don't care about the bully talk. I don't care about the grandstanding. It's not what I stand for. It's not. I stand for truth.
You stay grandstanding as like at least once an episode.
Because that's what all you niggas are doing. All y'all are doing is grandstanding.
Y'all have big ass egos with dicks that can't match the size of your egos.
It can't. Damn, I want to get
little dicks, tiny little dicks.
All right, so
puny little, tiny little micro penises.
I got one more thing I forgot first to talk about. Yasiin Bey, aka Mos Def.
I saw that.
This was peak hate right here.
It was peak. Yeah, it was.
I'm about to play. I'm gonna play.
I was trying to like convolute it in my mind, like, oh, this a old rap.
So if y'all if y'all don't know who Yasiin Bey, he also goes by Mos Def. And
one of the greatest underground rappers, point blank period.
And I'm gonna talk to that point a little bit, because I think that may have been marketing.
That's
marketing. Underground rapper is marketing. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute.
Just rappers who don't make mainstream music.
No, it's marketing.
Is Drake hip hop?
Hate coming right.
Drake is pop to me, in the sense like if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
That's hate. That's hate. That's disrespect and hate.
Commercial music.
Or it's
Music,
shopping with an edge in certain instances.
He said with
fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Of course, I mean,
okay. So my thing is this: what is shopping with an edge? Is that shopping with a shank or a knife?
No, it's like I think he meant the typical music that you would hear in a Macy's, in a mall, in a Forever 21. But like, if they played hip hop, something a little bit more edgy, then it would be Drake.
All right, so this is what I'm going to say first. This is going to come from a place where I don't appreciate two dark-skinned individuals criticizing a light-skinned man.
Mos Def is not dark-skinned.
Brown-skinned individuals discussing a light-skinned man not being enough of something. I'm going to always have an issue with that as a light-skinned man. Secondly, Mos Def
is, definitely brown-skinned.
And secondly, Mos Def, you were the first pop nigga ever. The first pop hip-hop nigga, that was you.
That's a terrible take. He's definitely not the first
So
pop
this
nigga.
nigga wasn't in Brown Sugar. So this nigga wasn't all over everywhere.
The first pop niggas.
This nigga wasn't singing.
The first in that same era that Mos Def was in, right? I would correct me if I'm wrong. He's not in the first wave of like when hip hop became popular. He was directly after that. Right?
He
was after that. So when I think
correct you was wrong.
He was after that.
He was the quintessential in the late 90s, early 2000s when your white nigga who was super into hip hop said something about
So he
music.
was much after that.
He was like 99.
Yeah. So he was much after that. When I think about pop, hip hop, Mos Def was never that.
What? Say that one more time.
Mos Def was never popular like pop hip hop. When I think about that, I think about like Rapper's Delight. I think about like Nelly. I think about like Ja Rule. I think about men like that. And growing up in New York, where like there was a lot of like very poppy hip hop going on the radio, and when I was introduced to hip hop as an immigrant, all I listened to, right, like the only thing that I didn't know of the underground people and of the like real gritty like rappers and the real hip hop scene. All I knew was the above ground, very mainstream people. I had never heard of Mos Def until I fell in love with hip hop and I started researching and I went back and I was like, okay, like this is somebody who has a lot of talent. The people who I was introduced to were the Nellys, the Ja Rules, the Bow Wows, the Lil Romeos, and they were popular, I think I would say, at the same time as Mos Def was putting out all of his music, but his music wasn't being played on Power 105.1. It wasn't being played on Hot 97 like Ja Rule and Nelly and Bow Wow and stuff like that was. So I would never put Mos Def in a mainstream category. I think that's a terrible take.
Okay, so you're saying mainstream when I'm saying he was the quintessential pop culture version of what a hip hop person was.
So when you think about like the lyrical, like snobby,
lyrical miracle shit, that's him.
Yeah, when you think about the snobby hip hop nigga, like he is who you think about in that specific aesthetic and category. But when I say pop, I mean like stuff that was being played on Hot 97 and Power 105.1.
You're sick. His stuff was it was a lot of stuff you didn't realize Mos Def was on. And you gotta understand, you came in 2003, so it was a little different. His debut album was 1999. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna let a nigga tell me he's underground when in 2004, you were in Something the Lord Made. 2006,
those were like
you was in 16 Blocks.
You
was in the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy in 2005.
I think he did make a beautiful transition into
niggas in Cadillac Records.
The cinematic community, but I still think if you completely separate Hollywood, then Mos Def as a rapper and only a rapper, not as an actor, was not mainstream. Because everything you just said to me were movies. Tell me a record that he had that went diamond.
Okay, diamond is extreme to say he's mainstream.
No, but literally, like that's a mainstream artist thing. Tell me what records went platinum of his.
I can go into the discography. My thing is this: like you're looking at it more as a product result, and I'm talking about more of a branding and the way that he was presented, bro. So when I was really introduced, when I was really introduced to Mos Def, it was because of Dave Chappelle. I watched the Chappelle show, and that nigga was the most consistent guest who would come on and perform.
Dave Chappelle was a hip hop head.
I will never forget Mos Def freestyling in the car while Dave Chappelle is driving him around.
Dave Chappelle was a lover of rap and hip hop point blank. He brought a lot of these underground rappers to the mainstream. He had so many,
and this nigga was doing movies before his debut.
Honestly, same for me. The reason I got introduced to a lot of people and the reason that I had recognition of some of these songs is because of the fact that I watched the Dave Chappelle show. As someone who didn't grow up in hip hop and all I what like the music that I grew up listening in my house was compa and Haitian music and Aïti Toubadou and stuff like that. Like this is when it comes to music and hip hop that I had to go out of my way, out of like 106 and Park to find, then it is categorized as underground for me. And that might be my specific bias.
I think that
in my experience.
Like, and I can agree where you can definitely understand where he championed underground. What I'm saying is like what you did was you were a branding and a personification of that. You weren't really underground. You weren't really underground.
I do agree with that. He was the quintessential like,
and that's what Drake is now.
Isn't
he is in regards.
Tell me what you're saying.
I'm saying that's what Drake is now. Drake will act like he's underground. Drake will act like he. Drake don't act like he underground.
No.
Drake will act like he's underground, like he just bringing niggas on some shit. He hip on shit that niggas ain't hip on. He will do that, and he will also be played as the quintessential rap nigga right now. If white people were to think of a rap nigga right now,
because of the fact how mainstream he is.
But the white niggas that I'm coming up and white niggas older than me,
if
they would wear them nasty ass Kangos trying to look like Mos Def.
If white people think of you as the what they were trying to look like LL Cool J first.
No, they were trying to look like Mos Def.
Mos Def did not make the Kango a thing.
That was one of his things though. Don't do that. Don't do that. He was Kango Shawty.
If we're going back into hip hop history, B-boys, the Kango was their uniform.
But see,
and that was way before Mos Def.
We can wrap it up after
so
this,
I don't think that Mos Def made that a thing.
But what did I say what Mos Def was? What did I say he was? He was the pop culture view of what a hip hop head was. So of course he's going to have the Kango hat.
It just depends on the timing of Mos Def and LL Cool J.
I saw Brown Sugar.
It just depends on
niggas know they couldn't do enough push-ups to be LL Cool J.
Did LL Cool J?
You couldn't do enough push-ups to do LL Cool J.
If LL Cool J became more popular than Mos Def before, then
LL Cool J was
I completely disagree with you. But if Mos Def was more popular before, I don't know. I wasn't here.
There's a whole decade between those two.
So you said LL Cool J was the 80s.
Yeah, he's
and
the 80s,
then Mos Def
early
was
90s,
the 90s.
Was the 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, so the Kango was relevant before Mos Def. He didn't make that popular.
He didn't, but he, as of right now, the quintessential hip hop nigga at that particular time was Mos Def. That's what I'm saying. You have no right to call Drake pop. You was damn near pop.
Drake is definitely pop.
Okay, and also too,
I agree with So we got completely very far from.
I've always stayed on my
the point. I agree with Mos Def. I do think he delivered it in a very hateration type of aesthetic and mood, and I don't like how you came across because you seemed like one of the old niggas hating on one of the new niggas, just like all of the old niggas sounded when like mumble rap came out. All of the old niggas sounded angry, and you just sound angry that Drake has surpassed everything you've ever done, like numbers-wise, on paper, everything. I think you sound very hatery, but I think at the core of everything you said, you are correct. I think Drake is pop rap. I think it's more digestible than what Mos Def was doing back in the day. He was doing very conscious, like, we're struggling in the hood rap. Da, da, da.
Man,
Drake makes music that makes white people way more comfortable than Mos Def did, and I'm going to die on that hill.
Well, hey, go get your cross, cause you're gonna be fair Christ. All right,
F Christ.
I think we got pretty much. You got anything? What's on your docket?
Okay. I think it's kind of misogynist that we go through your whole list before we even touch my list.
No, it's because you don't want to work together. And I be
telling you my whole list.
And then most of your stuff is better for the end, though.
Because my stuff is less interesting for the beginning.
No,
misogyny!
I just find the stuff that is clicking right now. That's all. It's all a business.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to get into was completely unrelated to this. So the next thing I wanted to get into was Verbal Ace. Do you know who this is?
Verbal Ace?
Verbal Ace.
Inform me.
So Verbalace is a YouTuber who is known mostly for beatboxing. And he has a huge following on YouTube. And he has been viral, making a lot of news lately because he spent $50,000 on a music video of him and of him and his favorite anime character. So the anime character is from Has Been Hotel. So this is like a smaller animated series that has been picked up by Amazon. It's gonna be on Amazon. I don't know if I'm correct, but it might be on Amazon already or it's coming to Amazon. So it's called Has Been Hotel. And it's Has Been Hotel is about a bunch of demons in a hotel, and they are basically like in rehab to try to get into heaven. So that's what Has Been Hotel is about. So he spent $50,000 on a AMV. That's what all the kids are calling it. I don't even know what that means.
AMV used to be what we had when we was younger. It's just like a audio music.
It's an AMV of his favorite waifu. So waifu or waifu, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is like your anime wife. So the anime character that you lust for the most, if I'm correct. So he spent $50,000 on a music video of him and his favorite anime character.
And just for those at home, AMV means animated music video.
Yes. So everyone has been like a little bit iffy about this. We tried to find the music video because originally he had posted it on his YouTube page.
Did you say how much he paid for this?
$50,000.
Okay, I just want to make sure the niggas heard that.
$50,000. I said that several times. So he had originally posted it on his YouTube page. We tried to find it, but he has since taken it off. So he's not benefiting financially from spending this money anymore because there's no streaming. Project. There's no monetary gain from it. So everyone has been talking about this. I wouldn't say everyone's upset. Everyone's just taken aback because in this animated video, he is being sexually assaulted by the character that he loves. So the character is called Charlie Morningstar. She is like one of the main characters of this show. Mm-hmm. So in the music video, she's like chasing him down the entire time. She's like lusting after him. And then she finally chases him down. She pins him down. And then there's like a really weird part where there's like a censor bar. And it's heavily insinuated that they're having intercourse. But for some reason, it's non-sensual. It's non-consensual.
So
why is it non-consensual?
I think a lot of people are hearing this and listening to it, and just like normal people, they're creating a picture in their head of what this man looks like. And I promise you, it does not look like what you think.
He don't look like what you think he looked like. Right here, it's a black man. This is a black man who is married with children.
Well, be honest though, y'all can see him getting that shit off. Let's just be for real.
Yeah, you just didn't expect him to be black. Other than him being black, y'all knew exactly what the fuck this.
But if I
like.
told you he was black, this would be the nigga that you would have picked out the lineup.
Right here.
This is definitely the nigga you would have picked out the lineup.
Yeah, 100%.
This is a sick nigga.
He was friends with Childish Gambino in high school.
For sure. They definitely traded Pokemon cards.
So, user on Twitter, on X, at the Star of Luck is the one who alleged that he spent $50,000 to get this music video made. Reddit user Paisley Pancake claims that Verbalace hired. This is what? It's not even the craziest part, but she claims that he hired a 15-year-old to make this music video. So not only did this music video include a sexual assault, the sexual assault was created, the artist was a 15-year-old. So allegedly.
So is that bad though? Like, if I'm letting him get his shit off.
I mean, if it was just a regular little music video, but like
Like
knowing that you wanted a sexual assault specifically as your artistic vision, maybe you should have gotten somebody older to do that. I think that's creepy.
I'm just thinking about my son does digital art like that, and I don't think I would be upset if
You'd be hype as fuck if he got $50,000 to make a. My bad for saying his name. I be saying shit. You gotta bleep that out. My bad. I'm really sorry, but you'd be so hype if he got $50K. For
I wouldn't
anything.
even. The content wouldn't be like it would. I guess 15 to me. That's at the time where you can make the decisions that you know, like, hey, bro, I'm doing this for $1. I don't care what. Like, this shit that I'm doing right here is not going to affect who I am as a person moving forward by doing this kind of work. So I don't see where it's like making it a notice that it was a minor. Like, we should be shouting that nigga out.
So apparently, Verbal Ace was having a lot of trouble with his YouTube. He wasn't making money off his YouTube. There was like shady.
Yeah, I'm glad you're talking about this because this is the sick part.
So you looked into this more than I did, actually. So there was shady shit going on with his YouTube, right?
Well, you looked it up more than I did, but you said
This specific-
the conversation that we had.
So his Reddit, his Patreon.
No, well, you jumped a little bit. So the conversation that we had when we looked into it was that he had an issue with YouTube.
Yes. So this is
YouTube
what I didn't
wasn't
know
paying
about.
him. YouTube wasn't paying him correctly.
Yes.
He then responded by shouting, telling him what was going on, and that ended up giving him a following big enough to be able to translate that to a Patreon.
So with the money that he made from Patreon is what he used to spend $50,000 on this music video. As a result, allegedly, of making this music video, he has gone bankrupt. No money for his wife and kids.
I'm be honest
because he made an AMV of his waifu sexually assaulting him.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I respect a nigga who put the money back into the craft. I ain't mad at the nigga for it. Nigga,
if you did that,
nigga re-hustle back into the craft.
It honestly, if you did that, there would be no getting my respect back for you. Like, I wouldn't leave you, but I would bitch you every day. Like, until you leave me. Like, I would make you feel like less of a man consistently. And it wouldn't even be my fault. It would just be subconscious off the cuff. Like, you are irresponsible. Like you put us in this situation.
He could have got it all. Like, let's be honest. He could have got that all. Like, that could have been something that could have got him some money. It just didn't work because there was some history behind it. But he could have got that all. That wasn't bad.
It was terrible because bankrupt is crazy.
The only reason it's bad because of the outcome. That's the only reason. And that's what's hard being a man. Because if your outcome ain't pristine, if it ain't top tier, you're going to be trashed. And I'm sorry. You kind of deserved it.
So I have a little like, let's just watch a little clip of it because
no, that wasn't it.
Oh, my bad. So let's just watch a little
the discussion
clip
of it really started
of this Verbal Ace. I don't even know, but here it goes. This is the waifu.
Shout out to the sick niggas.
She's like, you can't hide from me. And that's what he wants. That's exactly what he wants. The shit is sick. It is very sick.
I'm with the vile behavior. I'm with it.
I think this is so interesting.
Shout out to the sick black niggas out here, yo. It's too many of y'all that's be doing like real criminal shit. Shout out to the niggas that just keep it at home. Keep it on the computer.
Y'all don't know this about me. I haven't said this, but like all of my male friends are like nerds. Like league, like most of the time I spent
D&D.
not D&D. Most of the time I spent with him was because all they did was play League and Marvel versus Capcom. These were nerdy niggas. Anime, Marvel, DC niggas. Like these were the black men that I was around that I chose to be around consistently. So this is a different level. This is a completely different level. None of my friends, no matter how much they might want to penetrate an anime character, would ever spend not even $1,000 on a music video of them doing that.
See, I mean, it wouldn't be bad if he didn't go bankrupt. Like, that's the only part. Like, how do you, like,
you gotta do that shit when you fly and you got all of the money.
like when you told me this when we was gonna talk about it, like I was sitting here thinking to myself, how do you go bankrupt?
Bankrupt.
Because if you said the 15-year-old did it, how does where like there was other problems you had. Were you buying OnlyFans? Did you crap out? Were you a gambler?
He was definitely buying the OnlyFans of the girls that were like with the, you know.
No, he was definitely a gambler. Like they're like you have to have other afflictions. Like you can't have just normal afflictions and think, oh, okay, I'm gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Like no, there's something else going on with you, sir.
You anime niggas, you nerdy niggas, like it is completely fine to be nerdy, but I think verbalace is like the cap. When you get to there, I think you need to calm it down. I do. I think anything below verbalace's behavior is completely normal. I support it. I'll be your friend. I've befriended several of black men below that level. Above that level, though, you're giving jail. And you need to go to prison.
All right, so time to get into some movie reviews.
Yes, we promised you that the TV/movies, but that's not in our title, part would get back into the Talk FNF in 2024. So we are doing that for you. So I kind of want to do like a regular, like each week we're going to review the number one Netflix movie or show or whatever in the top 10. So this week, Lift was the number one movie on Netflix. For some reason, Lift was the number one movie. So this movie,
we know why.
Well, obviously Kevin Hart has the
Netflix contract,
the Netflix bag, because there is absolutely no reason that this should have been number one. So starring Kevin Hart as Cyrus, Gugu Mbatha Raw. I'm sorry if I pronounce that.
Renslayer.
If I pronounced that incorrectly, I did my best.
That's the girl who played Renslayer in Loki. So if y'all not familiar with her, that's
she played Abby in this movie, and those were like the two main characters. This is like the main supporting cast. So Ursula Corbero played Camilla. Sam Washington, I don't know why his name isn't here, but I don't know who he played. Billy Magnuson played Magus, and so on and so forth. So this movie was number one on Netflix, and I don't know why. I think Kevin Hart is a horrible leading man in a romantic anything. I think in his last series, I forget what it was called, but the series where it was a little bit more serious, it was about like him killing his brother.
Yeah, we talked
that
about that before.
limited series. He got a little bit more acting chops and a little bit more respect from his audience and maybe Hollywood. I'm not sure what goes on there, but maybe Hollywood also. But I think that they took a leap and a jump with Kevin Hart being a leading like romantic interest, and it did not read at all. I was cringing the entire fucking time. Every time that Kevin Hart was supposed to be perceived as like sexy or like making my loins tingle. I literally just wanted to like curl up in a ball and stop watching because it was so embarrassing. Because why would y'all think that like Kevin Hart was gonna be sexy in any way, shape, or form? He works out, but he's not sexy. So I didn't enjoy Kevin Hart's performance in this. His acting, I think it just seemed like Kevin Hart trying to be like a spy. So I didn't realize that I didn't even explain the whole premise of the movie to you guys. So Kevin Hart is supposed to be an art thief. He's supposed to be like a big time, like one of the biggest art thieves in the United States, right? And I guess the antagonist, like the person opposing him, is this woman who is played by what's her name? Gugu. So Abby is part of the CIA, and she's part of the like art thief
task force.
Yeah. So that's her main thing that she focuses on. So they had a fling years ago or a while ago, and neither of them knew that one of them was an art thief and the other caught art thieves, and they fell for each other within the couple weeks. They then found out he got away. They've had some type of animosity, professional animosity towards each other the entire time. In the beginning of the movie, the CIA hires Kevin Hart and his team to steal gold from this like big time criminal that they need to steal it from, because if he gets this deal through, then it'll be very detrimental for the entire world. So they have to give him a deal. So Kevin Hart and his team and all of their misdoings and all of their illegal activities are going to be forgiven if this plan goes according to plan and they steal the big bad's gold, right? So this is where we are now. There's a supposed sexual tension that we are supposed to feel throughout like it's a thread throughout the entire movie. The thread is not substantial. The thread is a Shein thread. It's in the thrift store. It's been used over and over again. It's barely a thread. You pull it a little bit, it's gonna come loose. Kevin Hart is not sexy. No matter how hard you try, Kevin Hart is not sexy. There are two scenes in particular that they try to make you, like, they really try to, like, hone it in. Like, they try to drill it through that he's, like, sexy. And it doesn't work. So, there was this moment where he calls her his trophy wife, because he's like, this is in the movie, they're pretending to be together for the case. He calls her his trophy wife, and she says after the guy leaves, "Oh, that's not a compliment." And he's like, "No, that wasn't the compliment. Calling you my wife is." I'm looking down at you, sir. Why would you call me your anything? That's a threat. Why would you claim me in front of any other man?
That's a me too.
Of any type of importance or power. Like, I was supposed to like feel that. Like, I was supposed to be like, ooh, it didn't. I was like, ah, like, I was like, no, ah, yeah. Like, every moment that y'all wanted me to think that Kevin Hart was like, ooh, let me go like rub one out, it just wanted to make me like sew my labias together for real. So there was another scene specifically where they are undercover again. They're pretending to be a couple. They are oh wait.
This is the second scene you said. That he was trying to be Mr. Showtime for. I think that's hilarious that
give me a second. I'm so sorry.
No, that's why I think it's hilarious that they would put Kevin Hart in this role. Because, I mean, for so long, they had to put him next to The Rock to be able to even do any of these kind of roles. And now they thinking because he done did a couple push-ups.
Just because even The Rock himself is too corny to be.
The camera angle that they think that they can get that shit off.
Even The Rock himself is too corny to be a romantic interest. Like, there's a difference. There's a difference between the male gaze and the female gaze. I feel like The Rock is what the male gaze assumes that the female gaze is, but it's not.
You remember when The Rock was in a Tyler Perry movie?
I don't.
You don't remember what's the movie with Janet Jackson? What's her movie? Oh, I cannot remember. The movie with Janet Jackson, remember her husband dies because he gets sick or something.
Because he's doing the bending?
No, not that one. He gets sick or something. Because remember, okay, this is the one where I think it was Why Did I Get Married? I think that's what it is. Yeah. Why Did I Get Married too?
But was it The Rock?
He was in the second movie. At the end of the movie, she dates The Rock. He's only in it for like 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's probably it.
But The Rock was in a Tyler Perry movie.
So the second scene that we're like really supposed to think that Kevin Hart is like really like this sex pot, like I want to suck that dick to Kevin Hart. No, never. So the second scene that we're supposed to want to do that. So they're in the plane. She's supposed to be doing some secret undercover stuff in the bathroom. It goes awry. He has to go in there and help her. Somebody else on the opposing team is trying to get into the bathroom. They have to pretend that they're like doing it, like they're a couple doing it, like Mile High Club. Yeah, in the in the airplane bathroom, and she's like moaning while they're both moaning while they're doing all the stuff, and then they're about to walk out, and then right before they walk out, he like kisses her all passionately. And he's like, now it's real. And then walks out. Ew. Ew. I just fake moaned the whole time. It was real to the people outside regardless. You want me to think Kevin Hart is sexy? For real? Everything about the premise of the movie, I completely lost because y'all wanted me to think that Kevin Hart was sexy. Why was that something that was something that they definitely harped on? And it was not great. The chemistry between him and his love interest was like super, super off. It was like my measuring stick between like whether their chemistry was my measuring stick was whether like I wanted them to like have sex or not. Like if their chemistry was better and if he played that better, then I would have been like, ooh, I really want to see them have sex. Because that's how I measure romantic interests, like chemistry on screen. Do I want to see them bang it out or not? I mean, or do I even want to see them do a little first base, second base, sprinkling in the third base? Like, do I want to see that? Because if I don't even want to see that, then you as a producer, a writer, or director have not built up enough tension for me to want that. And I feel like my opinion of sexual tension as a woman matters more than a man's. So if me as a woman doesn't feel the sexual tension between the characters, then it's point blank, it's not there because men.
So are you saying you didn't feel the tension?
There was zero tension.
All right. Well, to be fair,
this whole movie was garbage. This entire movie was garbage. Stop making Kevin Hart a leading man. He can be the funny guy, the sidekick, he can even in the instance of that short series in Netflix do like a short serious thing. But like as far as me sexually being attracted to this 4'5" man,
well,
pick somebody else.
I was gonna say that, I was gonna shout out to the director who was also the director of Friday, but shit, you just shit on that nigga's
pick somebody else.
Whole fucking product right there, yo.
There are so many like this role did not require any comedic finesse.
Netflix gave Kevin Hart like a multi-picture deal, right?
Bro.
And this nigga's
Daniel Kaluuya would have did better in that role.
This nigga's not putting Daniel Kaluuya in a movie where he can pocket that money.
What's his face? That definitely has a Netflix deal. Both of them boys from All American. Both them black boys.
They don't have a Netflix deal because they with All American. Netflix
No, I don't know, but
CW.
both of them would have been a better deal.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I'm saying that if you just gave me, let's just say they gave this nigga like $12 million, right, for 2 movies. I'm starring in both of those movies because I'm not paying no one else to be in these movies that they've already paid me for.
There's no amount of money you can pay Kevin Hart for me to think he's sexy. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
So this was a drop.
I think he would agree with you.
Yeah.
I think he would definitely agree with you. He is definitely using his movies. He's definitely using his movies as an opportunity to build his persona. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like something that goes without saying is that a lot of guys who make movies are directors use it as an opportunity to build their persona, to create images with them with like sexier women than they would normally be able to obtain. Mm-hmm. So that when other women who are attractive see them, it is easier for them to be like, okay, I can get with this country ass nigga.
I also don't want to be an asshole. I love women. I'm a feminist. I don't necessarily categorize her as like a sexy woman. Like she's
That's hate. That's hate.
No, she's
hate.
She's gorgeous.
That's hate.
And she's beautiful.
Renslayer is attractive.
But she doesn't give me like sex pop.
That's hate.
You know? She doesn't give me like
I mean, she's
what's her name from that Black Mirror episode, the black woman with the lips. What's her name? With the one that was in the gay man episode where they was fucking each other on the AI.
Oh, I know you're talking about Shawty.
Her.
They said she should have been Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, she gives me sexy. She gives me sexy. Like everything about her entire persona, her eyes, her cheekbones, her lips oozes.
She doesn't
like
give me sexy.
I want to eat your pussy.
She doesn't give me sexy.
Nah,
she gives me like very normal.
Nah, her lip shape really but like this lady.
I think she's attractive, but I think she just is very.
This
normal.
lady gives me librarian for real, like very cute librarian, like very cute kindergarten teacher. She cares so much.
That's funny that you said
about her kindergarten class.
You know why it's funny that you said that?
She decorates her entire class.
Hold on. Let me tell you why it's funny that you said that. Because in Loki, she was a principal. So it's funny that you said
typecasting. Yeah, she doesn't give me like. She doesn't give me like I want to bang it. I want to bang it. She gives me like I want her to be in my kitchen making cupcakes.
I mean, I would have more opinions on this movie if the woman that I considered the love of my life didn't watch the movie without me and didn't consider me in it. But I think that the way you handled this whole breakdown was good.
Wow.
Can we get into a movie now that I actually got to see that you allowed me to watch with you?
Allowed you to watch is crazy, but I was gonna go see this without him too.
Like that was
because
the craziest part.
Let me tell y'all the thing. I said, baby, I want to go see Mean Girls on this day. He said, well, it's gonna be football playing all day. In my head, I said, I'm gonna go see it by myself. It's fine. I'm just gonna go see it alone because it's a musical. I didn't think he really even wanted to see it that bad. But my baby, as he does, compromised, and we went to see Mean Girls before. Was it the playoffs?
The playoffs.
Yeah, before
talking about the playoffs.
Before one of the playoff games came on.
The playoffs. A lot of people don't know that, but that's from an old interview.
So, okay.
Mean Girls was a lot for us because
Mean Girls the musical.
I don't think people understand. First off, foremost, this was the Caucasian woman, color purple. This was the Caucasian woman.
That's a terrible take.
It was because it was a movie that resonated with that community and then became a musical. Both of them became a musical in the same year.
They both became musicals, but
literally within weeks with each other.
As far as what they represent in the
black
community,
this is white women trauma. What we saw was white women trauma.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. You know that it was. She got hit by a bus. That is white woman trauma.
Yeah.
This like, okay, I just want to say something here.
You know how
no. We need to shit on you first. Because out of all the movies that we could have went to go see, Book of Clarence, American Fiction, black movies, you was just out here petitioning for Taraji. And what did you choose to go see? This white movie. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, as far as my rhetoric
You're
goes,
Haitian.
I should be ashamed of myself,
should.
but I'm literally just a girl.
No.
I'm just a girl.
Tell them what you
I
told me.
went to see Mean Girls.
Tell them what you told me.
Mean Girls.
No, that's not what you told me. Tell them
Mean
what
Girls.
you told me.
Mean Girls means more to me in my life.
She said,
I was
I
more
don't-
excited to see Mean Girls. I
She
literally, I
said-
don't give a fuck about anything that was in theaters.
She said,
because of the fact that Mean Girls was in theaters. Also.
I don't want to watch that black bitch trauma.
Okay. Yes. I forgot that. I don't want
That's what you said.
the historically famous movie about black trauma musicalized. Like, I'm not trying to watch that, bitch. The fuck? I'm not trying to watch that. Mean Girls resonates. I'm so sorry that it's so many white women, but Mean Girls 100% represents my personality and my life more than The Color Purple does. I'm not a slave that's been sexually assaulted. I'm a bad bitch that went to high school in the 2000s. Like, I'm sorry. This means more to me than The Color Purple did. I'm so sorry. I'm not
So
a
are you trying to
lesbian.
say Lindsay Lohan is hitting more in your community than Whoopi Goldberg?
Not in general, no.
Are you trying to say Katie is over Celie?
Not in general.
No, it
'Cause
feels
you're
like
trying
it
to
feels
make
general. It feels very general.
No! You're trying to make sweeping generalizations, and I do not like that. So,
This is what it feels like.
let's get into the actual...
Are you a bunny hopper? That's what it feels like.
I will choke you out right now. Because I have never entertained anything other than black men my entire life. Okay, so let's get into the first thing I wanted to get into for Mean Girls before we go into the whole dissection of the new plot, the new way that
Was
the
it new, though?
characters were. Before we get into anything of that nature, let's get into the new characters and their roles. So, we're gonna focus on the OG, like, main team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Katie Heron, the Plastics. Katie Heron, originally played by Lindsay Lohan, now played by Angourie Rice.
I want to say something before we continue. I apologize because I said that you was mid. As the movie progressed, you filled those shoes well.
I still think you were mid, so I don't think he should have apologized for that.
No, you were no Lindsay Lohan. Don't get me wrong. Lindsay Lohan was in the movie. Shout out to her. You're no Lindsay Lohan. But I discussed you as you were a tier lower than you were. And I apologize. Continue.
Okay. So, yeah. So then we have Regina George, originally played by Rachel McAdams, now played by Renee Rapp. Then we have...
Can we discuss each character for a little bit?
Can we? No. Let me just get through really
okay.
quick, and then we'll go back.
Say less.
Right? I just want to get through it really quick.
Say less.
So then we have Gretchen Wieners, originally played by Lacey Chanhurt, now played by Baby Wood. And Karen, originally played by Amanda Seyfried, now played by Anantika. So
Shout out to
those
the
are
brown girls.
just the Plastics. I didn't get into anybody else. Those are just the main group of girls.
Okay.
So let's talk about the Plastics. What do you think about the new Plastics and the originals versus the new representations of them?
I will say this.
And I want you to be extremely misogynistic.
I'm about to be in my bag.
about their hotness and everything, because I think there was only one girl that held up to like the hotness standard.
I don't even think we probably might agree on this one.
We probably might not.
But I'll say this,
or we might
for the most part. For the most part, I was sitting here when I watched it. Again, I was original
in
Mean
theaters.
Girls, 2000. Again, 20 years. It's literally 20 years to the year that the last Mean Girls came out. So I was part of that group. I saw this movie come out. I saw the way that it grew. And I will say this, because the person who played Regina King, she was the girl who's in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
She's a dime. Like, I feel like this was the movie that proved your point, that they are trying to stop the hotness in Hollywood. Like, for real. Like, I'm sitting here again.
They've been trying to. There has been an agenda. Like, I can only say this as a skinny woman, not even as a skinny black woman. Just taking everything outside of my identity, just as a skinny woman. They have been trying to take the skinny bitches out of everything.
I'm not even saying just the skinny. I'm just talking about there's a certain level of attractiveness that they're trying to condition us to. Because the girl who played Regina George, she's not ugly by far. By far. We watched her in the College Sex Live movie show.
Love Renee Rapp.
I think she's a great actress.
I love her acting. I think her face is gorgeous. I think her eyes are beautiful. I think she definitely gives that like mean bitch, like I'm afraid of her and I want her to like me, and I would be very sad if she didn't like me because she's such a bad bitch and I'm intimidated by her type of like features. Continue as a man though.
No, but I agree with a lot of what she says facially.
Yes.
After outside the face, she does not fit Regina George. I think outside of her being a blonde-haired white girl with blue eyes, everything else about her does not fit. Like, if you compare her to the woman who played Regina George in the first one, they're not even the same. They're not even the same category or in the same league. Like, she would get, the person who played the original Regina George would get the stock holder, the tech guy who's a white guy. The girl who plays her now, that is a black man's fetish.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what she looked like. I don't think she's an ugly girl. I don't think she should have been Regina George.
She is definitely like the type of white girl that black men go for. She's
I think she should have been Karen.
She thick as hell.
I feel like if you were going to change things up, you should have made Karen the girl of color. And we'll talk about, what was the girl's name who played Karen? It was the Indian girl's name. What was her name one more time?
Her name was Karen was Anantika.
Uh-huh. And I'm going to say this, baby, respectfully, that's an attractive 18-year-old right there.
She's literally,
she's a doll.
We did have a little like back and forth about whether she looked 18 or not.
Yeah, I didn't think she did.
And I thought she genuinely 1000% looked 18. Because if you take away the titties and the makeup,
you can't say that. You can't say you just take away physical shit.
Because in this day and age, you have to. I think that you are irresponsible in the way that you are looking at her. You have to look at different things, because we said it literally an hour ago. There are GMOs and hormones and this and that in the food, and the girls are developing differently. So they're developing faster than they would have before. I think she 1000% has a baby face with the buccal fat and the way with the roundness of her face and the plumpness and everything. Like, she gives me high school age. The whole time that I was watching Mean Girls, Anantika, Karen's character, she was the whole time she was meant to be hypersexual, and because of how young she looked to me specifically, it was very uncomfortable because of how I was meant to perceive her. It feels like I was meant to perceive her to be sexy as hell and this and that, which like she is, but I feel like it was being pushed on us as an audience more to sexualize her more than she should have been, especially for her age. And for me, she 1000% looked her age. She looked like she was 18 years old. And it genuinely did make me a little bit more uncomfortable. And it did make me, because she looked the most developed.
So I don't know how you can say that and then say the point you just made.
She looked the most, because I can make that point because all of us need to understand puberty as something that affects people differently. So a girl having big boobs doesn't mean that she's older.
Okay.
Because
can I say something with this though?
When I was younger, because I naturally genetically was not ever somebody that was gonna have big boobs. So I naturally, when I was younger, I was like, oh, you're younger than me, you should have smaller boobs than me, but that didn't always happen. So that's not a measuring stick, I don't think, at all. So because her body is more developed, it doesn't mean that she, in facial features, which is why I kept focusing on her facial features, if you look at just her face, she 1000% gives you high school.
See, no, I think you were looking at the facial features that were presented for her being Karen, because you didn't look at the pictures that I looked up of actually her just presenting herself.
No, I didn't.
So
look
when
at
you
her
see
outside
her,
of this.
when you see of how her body is, which is a big point of how you determine age of somebody, and then you look at her outside of this character.
I'm talking
she
about the
looks
movie,
grown.
though. I'm talking about Mean Girls.
I'm just saying, I did more research, so I looked into who she was, and she's a Disney girl. She's somebody who's been on a Disney movie where she's actually the lead.
Mm-hmm.
So my point was, I felt like if we were going to change things up, you shouldn't have changed body composition for Regina George, because you really just turned her into like and again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you turned her into the fat entitled girl.
She was not fat, not one
They
bit.
literally had a part in there where she took the bars that were making her gain weight. So
that
clearly,
was part of the original Mean Girls.
But
that was nothing in
Regina,
the script changed at all.
The girl who played her is a heavy-set white woman.
I'm just telling you that Lindsay Lohan, with her skinny ass, did the same thing in the same movie. The entire script
made her
with
big.
her wanting to, everything was the exact same.
Nobody's saying it wasn't.
It's just Renee Rapp is a little bit bigger than Lindsay Lohan was.
But that affects the person who is consuming the content. So I'm sorry that I'm harping on her size.
Yeah, for you, that's
a
terrible take.
You say that, but anytime I'm saying anything that is about the way that the male gaze is looking at something, you're gonna feel like that. But I feel like she would have been a better Karen because she fits the model of what Karen was. The girl who was a little bit.
I don't think she would have given Airhead as well.
You sick.
As well as Antigua did, because she did it so well. I actually, as far as adaptation of the plastics go, I think that Karen was probably they stuck to their guns the most when it came to Karen's character. It felt like the
why,
same.
right?
But also, going into this,
Hold on,
I did not.
Can we keep on that point? I want to discuss that. You know why though, right?
No.
Karen is the quintessential girl right now. She is the modern woman now.
I just think she's the easiest to get off.
And you don't think that's the
just
modern
like
right now? You don't think that's the quintessential model right now? Easy to get off?
I guess.
We literally have a whole show called 20 Women, One Rapper. Easy is to get off. That's why I feel like anybody could have played Karen, because that model is almost what's being presented to us right now. That's the 100% model. That's why I wanted to see the Indian girl. If we're going to change shit up, make the Indian girl be Regina George. Because I would have loved to see her in that kind of environment and role, and not to even harp on the fact that she's the privileged rich girl, because that was what Regina George was.
Regina George in the first one was not the most privileged one.
She was rich as fuck.
If you originally watched Mean Girls, Gretchen's character was obviously the richest one. Regina George was never the richest one out of the plastic. Gretchen was always the richest because of her father inventing toaster strudels.
Well, okay.
Like, like
They made her rich in this one.
if you really want to get down to like OG Mean Girls versus, because I made a list of the differences between the characters also, between the original, like how they were represented versus the new ones. Gretchen was the richest point blank period undoubtedly in the original Mean Girls. So Regina being the rich one in the new Mean Girls was completely new. They changed that.
Okay. No, I can see that. But I mean, again, I could just definitely feel, I think that the girl who played Karen could have really killed the Regina role, and it would have made it more interesting to make her a person of color.
So as far as other differences, that like the biggest differences that I saw in the movie, so the biggest differences is dad is gone. So Katie's dad for some reason is just not there anymore.
That was hate.
Yeah, so her father is just out of the picture. It doesn't really do anything for like her or her mother or her story whatsoever. So I don't know why that
No, but it
was
makes
a
her
thing.
well, you know why. They wanted to focus on women, and then the second on it makes her support system more focused on the women around her rather than incorporating the man in it.
Yeah. So then one of the other biggest differences that I saw in Mean Girls 1 versus, well, the original Mean Girls versus this Mean Girls is that like there were at least like 3 or 4 scenes where they were like planning things where Janice works, but Janice doesn't work in the new Mean Girls. She's just an artist. Like she just makes her money off of art. But Janice in the original Mean Girls, like she had like a part-time job at like a Bath and Body Works type of store, which is where they got the lotion to give Regina George to tell her that it's like, oh, gonna get rid of whatever of your pimples. In the new one, they told her that it was gonna like help with her skin, and it was lard instead of Janice like completely working. So Janice is supposed to be like a very hard working like girl, but in the new movie, she's just an artist, and it's just that like her. A lot of the characters, the personalities, I think in this version were way more one-dimensional than they were in the originals, which is why I think, like, I don't think that making the on-screen version of the musical was necessary. I think it took away from the story. And as a huge fan of Mean Girls myself, I've watched that movie 17 times. I wanted to go see the movie, the musical on Broadway itself. When I went into this, I didn't do all my research. I didn't think that it was just gonna be, because that's what it is. It's the on-screen version of the musical. It's not Mean Girls 2. A lot of us,
or a reboot.
Yeah, a lot of us were expecting Mean Girls reboot or Mean Girls 2, and that's not what that was. It was Mean Girls the musical on screen, and it wasn't great. So I did learn that 14 songs were cut from the musical to the on-screen version.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, remember I said during the second half, they almost stopped doing the whole musical. Like they're like the end of the second act to the third act, they almost stopped doing all musicals. Or if they were musicals, it was creatively done so that it didn't feel like it was actually the story being told. It was like we just about to tell the synopsis of what everybody else is feeling through song, and then we'll go back to the character.
So
I hate musicals.
I went into this thinking it was going to be a recreation, but it wasn't. It was just a repeat.
Oh, for sure.
It was very disappointing, but like, it's not their fault. It's my fault. I should have did my research, because if I did my research properly, I would have just illegally watched this online. I wouldn't have went into the movies.
Tina Fey was a teacher in both, right?
Yeah, she was. There were all of the teachers, the gym teacher, the principal, Tina Fey and the character who was originally the principal, the black man, are now married in this version. It's just none of it. I thought that this movie was going to develop or further the story, but it didn't. It was just the musical version. We didn't need it. Yeah, you could have just kept this on Broadway.
You heard Lindsay
You could
was
have
upset?
kept this on Broadway. And then Lindsay was in the movie at the end as like a teacher.
No, she was the
Oh,
mediator.
she was the mediator at the
math.
the mathlon, the mathlete. competition.
Did you hear what she got upset though?
What did she get upset at?
So Megan Thee Stallion is presented a few times in kind of like to present the social media aspect of what's going on to kind of see how big it is.
Oh yeah, she pops up a couple times.
So in there, she used the word fire crotch, and it's come out that word was used to be disrespected to
Like
Lindsay Lohan.
Oh.
And directly for a situation she had with another actor or something like that, or producers. And they called her a fire crotch in it, and she had spoke out against that and saying, it was derogatory and things of that nature. And so a lot of people were upset that they ended up using that line from Megan Thee Stallion in the movie when she was part of that. They paid her $500,000 for that, Lindsay Lohan. They paid
for
her
that
for that scene.
17 seconds that she
I
was
think
in
so.
that movie.
That I think so.
Good for Lizzie. Honestly,
That's
good
crazy.
for her. She been on TikTok looking. Well, no, that's Amanda Bynes. My bad.
No, I was gonna say that. It's just
Amanda Bynes been on TikTok looking crazy.
No, it was just funny because it just supported my theory regarding, the whole, discussion with the black actresses and, the money. Because if she got $500K for that, I don't know if she got $500K. Okay. This is what happened. She got $500K for the original Mean Girls. And then when she did that $500K, I was just saying that's way more than Taraji ever got for any of the movies that she did. So I just thought that was interesting. But y'all can't hate on Lindsay. She get it. She go crazy, and she was pretty good in this movie. I'm not mad at her performance. A lot of things that you could probably be said about this movie, but I'm not mad at it. I'm pretty much a supporter of it. Wasn't too bad. It's gonna be higher up there, but I 100% enjoy the prior movie before this one. This one wasn't even close. But again, it's a musical, so what can you expect? And then when it comes to the two Reginas, again, I know it's gonna sound bad because we're comparing the outlooks of women, but the first Regina that came out, she was the quintessential white privilege woman. She was slim, she was pretty, had everything going for her. She was snarky. But this girl right here, again, why I appreciate a thicker lady, in regards to certain things. Again, my main thing is this beautiful slender goddess over here. But I'm not mad at her for it. I'm not mad at him for even trying to change it up. It's just it don't hit the same when she ain't a skinny white girl. It just ain't the same. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. When I
Lord.
when I see the girl who plays her now, I think that it's niggas that probably shouldn't think they have a chance with her that think they got a chance with her. Just cause she heavy set. And I didn't like none of the pants she had on.
She like women.
The whole
in real life, that's a lesbian.
Yeah, she was like that in the movie, the show we watched. But in this right here, and then we can wrap it up at this part, she just didn't give the kind of energy that Regina George in the original did. I felt like I knew. I felt like this Regina George, I could see her with a brother that maybe wasn't making minimum wage.
This Regina George felt like she was being mean because of her insecurities. The original Regina George felt like she was being mean because she genuinely felt like she was superior to these bitches.
That's what I like to say. That was correct. That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah. So it was very different, and it was a different vibe. So really quick, back to the musical numbers. 14 songs were cut from the original musical. I think my favorite musical number, I saw a lot of people when I was watching reviews and stuff, not like the Halloween party scene from Karen's character, but I think because she was the cutest, most attractive, sexiest out of the entire cast, that her musical number was my favorite, because she was doing she really gave me the Mean Girls aesthetic. She was unapologetically sexy. And I really like that. I think on the opposite end, the worst musical number was Regina George's introducing "My name is Regina."
They did it twice, didn't they?
George." They did it twice. It was clunky. It was wordy. It was awkward. I hated it. It made me feel like, let's get through it so we can get over it. I did not like it at all. This entire movie did not elevate the original source work at all. I feel like if you're gonna do an adaptation, then you need to elevate things. I feel like Tina Fey took the easiest way to make a 2023 Mean Girls is to take all the bitches and sluts and hoes. 2024. A 2024 Mean Girls is all you did was take all the bitches and sluts and hoes out of it, and you left literally everything else the same. All you did was take out, you went through the script, you took out the word bitch, you took out the word slut. That was it. Girl, you did not do anything like revolutionary whatsoever. It was literally so boring. There were so many other ways that you could have represented the way girls are mean to each other now, which is very different than it was when you made Mean Girls. Like, social media comes into play. Like, there's
they had internet, but it didn't really affect the way
it was just
that it really would.
It was just a supporting thing in the story.
If it was real, you would have had a counter showing how she was getting bigger. Regina was getting bigger through the months.
The only thing that shows you that social media changed the story is because instead of Regina printing out multiple pages of the burn book over and over again and spreading it through the halls of the school, she just dropped it in the middle of the school, and all of the girls just shared the contents of the pages of the burn book. Yeah. That's the only thing that you saw that social media made a difference in. But I think that y'all should have put more effort into how girls are mean to each other in 2024 versus 2004, because they are very different types of mean. And I think y'all genuinely dropped the ball on that. I'm highly disappointed in this entire project. I gave up giving my money to so many new black projects because of the nostalgia that I felt. I abandoned my blackness and went with my womanhood on the picking of movies this time.
Agents of white supremacy.
And that was a mistake. So, yeah, there was no nuance or change in anything. And, yeah, Mean Girls was fucking garbage.
And then at the end of the day, Katie, you was mid as fuck.
Katie was not hot enough. So you were saying that, like, I don't know what you meant by the girls now versus the girls then, because all of the original Mean Girls looked way more mature and like they were way older than high school age than these girls do now. These girls look like they might actually be in high school.
No.
They just not as sexy. No. Like, give me 25-year-old women
being 18-year-olds.
Yeah, if that's what it takes.
But it wasn't doing that. They were doing 21.
I want the 23 to 25-year-old women playing 17-year-olds.
They wasn't doing that.
If I'm going to get bad bitches, like, give me that. Like, what the fuck?
It was more so 20
Y'all
to 25.
took the bad bitches from Winx Club. Y'all took the bad bitches from Mean Girls. What the fuck else are you going to take the bad bitches from? Just like I said, as a black woman, I don't need y'all to make these random characters black. Just make new black characters. As a skinny, slim, bad bitch, I'm sorry for my genetics, bitch. But as a skinny, slim, bad bitch, I don't need you to take all the bad bitchery away. I just need you to make bad bitches that are fat. Just make bad bitches that are fat originally from jump. Period. I feel like such a white girl. Like when as a skinny girl complaining about representation as a skinny girl in the media,
Talk about
I
it.
feel like a white woman. Because specifically as a black woman, like my black, slim, no ass, not it. You gotta be thick to be black. I'm not. Nobody talks about that. Get the fuck out of here. Let's move on.
I feel you.
Let's move on. So the next, it's award season, baby.
Award season.
Award season. Everybody's getting awards. Everybody's getting awards. So do you want to start with the Golden Globes or the Emmys?
We can start with the Golden Globes. I can get there. Man, Joe Coy, you really shit the brick, man. You. A lot of folks was talking about you, and they was not proud of your performance. That Taylor Swift joke really killed you. But I don't think you're a bad comedian. So
Joe Coy is the Filipino.
yeah, he's the guy that been on Breakfast Club. He's done the rounds.
I didn't think that he had such a big year to be nominated for anything this year.
He wasn't nominated. He was the host.
Oh, okay. So okay.
But he was really bad because apparently he got the job like 10 or 11 days before.
Well, that's fucked up.
So he kind of had to go out there and like basically the joke that put him in the hole was the joke he said about Taylor Swift and the fact that the NFL over presents her and that the Golden Globes weren't going to do that. But I want to get into some of the winners of the Golden Globe.
Yes, let's get into
winners. So
real quick because we didn't make our lists like in any accordance or we didn't
be fair, the Emmys kind of got pushed back because of the strike. So that's why it got pushed into this year right here.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of, BS going on has to do with anytime small creators like ourselves.
I was going to say that I made my list for the Emmys and he made his list for what?
The Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes.
But there's also the
I
critics.
specifically made my list for only the blacks. I don't know if we agree. That's what I was going to say. I don't know if we agreed on.
I was just going to go over the top.
Yeah, on what we were going to go over. Because I'm only going over the top black acts.
Well, yeah, I was going to go over the top some of the top actors. So, best motion picture for drama, Oppenheimer won. I thought that was pretty big for that. Oppenheimer had a big year.
They definitely did.
Best motion picture for animated was The Boy and the Heron. I didn't see that. I was more so leaning on Spider-Man. I was surprised regarding that. I'm trying to think of some more here. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture. Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon. And I think like the one thing about
I don't know who none of these fucking people are.
And that's what I was about to say. The one thing about the Golden Globes is it's kind of really hard to get the known crowd in because they don't really go for that. They kind of go for like performance and things of that nature. That's why
this one got a little more indie.
Yeah, that's why you see a lot more like Poor Things won a lot. Oppenheimer won.
I wouldn't say Oppenheimer was.
No, they did.
smaller.
They did crazy. I didn't say smaller. When I say, I mean like they're more so focused on the art of it.
Okay.
Not necessarily the who's behind
budgets
it.
and things.
So like
of that nature.
Oppenheimer did numbers. Like Robert Downey Jr. won.
Yeah.
Their director won. They won for original score. They literally was sweep house. The only like Barbie did do original song, and then in regards to TV awards, of course, Succession cleaned house.
Succession cleaned house at the Emmys also.
Yeah, Succession and The Bear cleaned house like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They did really well. But I mean, for the most part, like the main takeaway from the Golden Globes was just Joe Coy's bad performance. Like everybody hated his stand up.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was bad, though.
I actually didn't even come across the fact that the Golden Globes had a host. I know that the Emmys specifically didn't have a host.
I thought Anthony Edwards was the host, or Anthony Anderson.
No, there was somebody on the SNL cast that was like, please have a host next year. Like there wasn't a host or somebody. I don't know.
I mean, what I read was they were talking about Anthony Anderson, and I know you said you didn't want to talk about his past improprieties, but that was the main thing I got from him was a lot of people was writing articles about why he was still okay. to be performing.
Mm-hmm.
But now going to what you was about to say.
Okay, so yeah, Anthony Anderson did host the 2024 Emmys. My list is very different from Rhetoric's list because I generally scroll past the I don't write everyone who wins things. I write people who win things that I give a fuck about, right? So we're gonna go through the list of Emmy winners that Farrah gave a damn about. So Ayo won Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for The Bear, which I absolutely love. I'm going to hold off on my general opinion of that winning because it goes into a category. So I'm really excited to talk about her, so I'm going to hold that off until I finish my list. Next is Quinta Brunson. So she won Outstanding Leading Actress in a Comedy Series, which I think is super, super, super deserving. Quinta, writing wise, acting wise, you have gone out, not gone out of you have somehow made a show that has replaced The Office,
Parks and
all of those shows, and those comfort shows that I can watch over and over and over again. For those people with anxiety that like to watch those things over and over and over again that they know will bring them joy, your show Abbott Elementary has definitely, I think for a lot of people has been added to that list. So I absolutely love that. And then also Ayo is Quinta's sister on Abbott Elementary, and they're both
on the show. Okay.
Yeah, and they're both Emmy winners now, which is I love that. I love that so much. So Ayo Quinta. Next is Niecy Nash. So Niecy Nash won. She won Outstanding Leading Actress. No, she won Outstanding Supporting Leading Actress in a limited or anthology series. So for Dahmer, her role in Dahmer was absolutely amazing. I think it captivated all of us I think her role made there's just the regular person seem more susceptible to this. And then it made black people seem I could have been her character. And I think only Niecy Nash could have played that character in a way that made us feel like we have so much humility that we would be in the same position as her. But she's so sweet and she comes off so sweet. I wouldn't have been in that same position. I wouldn't have let that nigga near my shit at all. Period. Point blank.
So no, I want to play her speech because I think the way that she reacted to her award is kind of counterproductive to a lot of people's feelings on these award shows. But I just want y'all to hear it.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear it, but yeah, let's hear it.
Thank you to the Most High for this divine moment. Thank you, Ryan Murphy, for seeing me. Evan Peters, I love you. Netflix, every single person who voted for me, thank you. And my better half who picked me up when I was gutted from this work, thank you. And you know who I want to thank? I want to thank me.
Period.
For believing in me and doing what they said I could not do. And I want to say to myself in front of all you beautiful people, go on, girl, with your bad self. You did that. Finally, I accept this award on behalf of every black and brown woman who has gone unheard yet over-policed, like Glenda Cleveland, like Sandra Bland, like Breonna Taylor. As an artist, my job is to speak truth to power, and baby, I'ma do it to the day I die. Mama, I won!
Okay, so the only problem I had with this is a lot of black artists when it comes to Grammys and other awards like that, have always said that these awards don't mean nothing. And it's hard to feel like that's true when you have a prominent black woman going crazy for winning the award.
It's always gonna be black people who stand on business 100% and black people who tap dance. And both those black people are always gonna be highly represented, I think. Because they're both very polarizing and they both garner a lot of attention. So I think a character like what Niecy Nash is portraying, being so thankful for her proximity to whiteness that it finally led her to notoriety.
Because, I mean, you don't never see no BET award reaction like that.
No.
You don't.
Never,
no NAACP award, anything that's like that. She was crying, calling for her mama. She was proud of herself.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at her for it, but at some token, you can't be mad at the result of you valuing this white product. Because at the same token, there's going to devalue you at the end of the day.
It's I think as a black woman, as far as intersectionality goes, it's a fine line to walk between like wanting to gain the respectability and everything of being perceived as a classy woman, and then on the other side, like being wanting to be respected as like a strong black figure. Like it's really like the flip-flop is really different and it's very interesting, and I genuinely don't think that anybody goes through the nuance that a black woman goes through with her identity, especially when you're being educated. I think there's a very hard difference between like, am I a coon or am I gonna be this like like it's either you're a coon or you're perceived as like this very pro-black, like intense.
I think one of the problems that y'all have is that y'all look at that like an individual struggle. Like y'all can definitely pull out the racism.
Ooh, continue, yeah.
No, y'all definitely can pull out the racism and the sexism when it affects you. But then when it comes to y'all view and criticism of y'all male counterparts, it just doesn't reflect the same. Y'all can tell us all the time how black men have oppressed you and things of that nature.
Okay.
But y'all can't tell us.
I don't like that. I don't like where this conversation is going.
I'm
Because
just being honest.
I feel like in the conversation that I'm having of like black women who are like specifically aware of this, I feel like in the argument of intersectionality, we usually, like, I'm just speaking for myself, usually pick blackness over womanhood.
No, I would disagree.
Okay?
I would disagree. More often than not, womanhood will be pushed over blackness.
Let me ask you in front of the camera as a person, like, do you think, me personally, what do you think I pick usually before anything else? Do you think I pick womanhood or blackness? Or like, I do think there is like a slight teeter-tottering, like between, like there is like a middle where you have to pick black, because black womanhood is different than womanhood, but then blackness is different than blackness. Black womanhood is a completely different experience in the middle.
Respectfully, I would say that you probably pick whatever's convenient at the time.
I'm not mad at that. I genuinely am not mad at that. I would be more mad, honestly, and I would be more offended if you said that I picked womanhood over blackness more than.
No, you pick whatever's convenient at the time.
Okay. No, I'm not offended by that at all. Yeah.
I mean, it's very much so circumstantial to whatever you need to be done at that particular time.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah.
I think that in my person, if you were to observe me, that I would take less for myself if I knew that my people were getting more. And so I think that's why I may potentially be viewed from people who actually know me a little bit differently in regards to that. But I just feel like, I mean, I don't feel like it's rude to say that. I just feel like, that you would be very concerned regarding that more than the latter.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time when shit start going exclusive on Patreon, this is the motherfucker you need to blame. It's not me. It's gonna be her. She gonna be the motherfucker just trying to turn this into Chanel bags.
It's that, but also if you really want to get into the root of the differences between our things, is just like I'm new to just having anything in general.
See the land, niggas. That's just different. That's all.
And I never thought I would get here as fast as I did. So I just feel like I am entitled to floss and enjoy more than somebody who was building. No, it's not that it's the responsible thing to do. I don't think it is the responsible thing to do. I think it's more like being a newborn baby versus an adult, right? Like,
I mean, you're almost 30, so I mean, that's
no, it's not.
That.
I'm almost 30. It's your parents were born and raised in the U.S., in this society, in this specific capitalistic state of mind, and know the rules to this, and you were raised with these rules versus I had to teach myself these rules, right? And I had to make my own set of shit to follow, regardless of like what my parents did, but like they were fucking winging it for real. And I knew that. So I don't think that we can equate our growth as far as like financial freedom and things of that nature.
You think that I was doing that? I wasn't trying to equate those two.
Oh, that's where I've been led to in my drinking, and we're on camera. Like, as I've been talking, this is where I'm at now, so this is where we're at now. Go along with it. So
I was just trying to make sure my stances wasn't being misconstrued.
But yeah, that's where we have completely different states of mind. I feel like we've been on a tangent for way too long. Was that it though?
I mean, that was everything on my docket.
Oh, okay. So that's why we were on a tangent for so long.
I mean, everything I've been on my docket. I don't know if you was finished with yours.
No, okay. So Emmy, the rest of the Emmy winners, that's where we were on. So Succession won a myriad of awards, including Outstanding Drama Series. So we both love Succession. I think Succession is a great series. Keke Palmer won Outstanding Game Show Host. There was a good amount of Black women who won things this year.
Well, they had to appease y'all, because they now giving y'all the money y'all want.
Yeah. So,
sorry, was that Debbie
I
Downer?
just think that seeing like very oh fuck. Okay, I got it. Seeing very nerdy Black girls win for the past couple years, like Issa Rae, Io, like Quinta. I see myself in Black women like Issa and Quinta and Io way more than I did in like Halle Berry and shit like that. Like I love that for you, Halle, but I genuinely feel like my type of Black girl is winning for real. And I've never felt like the awkward whitewash, like we're just here and we're surviving type of Black girl was ever gonna thrive until Issa and then Io right after, and then Quinta and then Io. I was like, God damn.
How do you put Io in that situation though? Because
she's a very whitewashed Black girl.
Okay, but that should make you feel worse about the situation then. Because everything
what do you
about
mean?
her.
Because I've always felt like a whitewashed Black girl.
Well, I'm not saying about just for you individually. I mean, I'm talking about in the genre in whole. If she's a whitewashed Black girl and she's getting this so much attention, what chances does the Black woman who focuses on Black art?
Let me explain that to you. Because the Black woman who has been more loud, more outspoken, more everything else has been the focus. The Black girl who has different, slightly nerdy types of like they're like what they're interested in is a little bit more nerdy has not been to the fore. She hasn't been the main type of Black girl. Can you agree with that?
But there's a reason why though. She wears. She's the black
can
girl
we
that wears
stop?
bad wigs.
Can we stop?
She's the.
Can we stop?
So she's not the.
Can we stop?
Bad wigs.
Can we stop? Can we just agree that the regular black girl you've seen has been either ghetto or wildly nerdy and whitewashed?
That's what I is.
Okay. Right?
So she's not changing anything.
You always tell me to shut up while you trying to make points?
You're literally talking to me.
Okay. So I feel like as a black girl who teeter-tottered that line between like, yes, I have a black identity, but at the same time, like I don't fully identify with the African American like society and rhetoric and everything because she is African and I'm also an immigrant. Like that identity, 100%, I love seeing that way more. And it resonated way more with me with Io, with Issa saying that she was awkward and didn't like talking in front of people. Like there has only recently been a representation of black girls like me in the past like 5 years. Follow us on all the social media.
I'm not done. I'm not done. I gotta do my outro.
TV.
No, you about to say that again. So
I'm tired of this.
It's cool. Sit over there and be tired of it. All right.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv, at Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and all of the things. Love you. Bye.
We're not out. All right. So I want to thank y'all for listening. Why you gonna walk in front of the camera? Douchebag. Just want to thank y'all, man. Let y'all know life is a labor of love. So keep building together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing that you should exploit is these corporations. Talk NFF TV. I want to thank y'all for listening and come back next week. We out of here, baby.